Alright. Apologies, folks. I know I set it for 3:30. I thought what I had to do when I got home might take me a few extra minutes, but actually I got it done really quick. So we'll start up underway, but I won't like actually jump in immediately. Well, I do want to give some folks some time who saw the time set for the start to hop on in. So just gonna hop into live and hang out with you guys for a couple of minutes, checking with you guys, and then we'll get underway. I will say this: I just grabbed them. I just grabbed my mail, and I got something which I have been waiting for a while. Michigan Yankee, Asmogan lives. Yes, I do. I do. I'm also very happy to be alive, especially in this moment. Yes, I got the Darkness Volume 1 complete graphic novel. Oh, 600 pages. I got this for a steal at this quality, because there was a guy on eBay who was trying to yoink it. Sorry, not yoink it, to yeet it for only like $10. And it's in, you know, if you look it over, it's in new or close to new condition. It's still even got that shine on it. Like $10 for this. I had to buy it. I'm a sucker for this shit, man. Like, comics, graphic novels, love the hell out of them. So, yeah, I couldn't pass that up. It arrived pretty soon, though. I only ordered this on Monday. I didn't expect it to arrive so soon. Alright, welcome, Josh Hooligan. I already said hi to Michigan Yankee, but I'll say hi again. How you doing? Lurkin Edge, first time here. Well, welcome, Lurkin Edge. How you doing? Excuse me, Charlie Frank. I feel that this will turn into a shit show, not gonna lie. It may very well turn into a shit show, wouldn't surprise me. That's kind of comes with the territory. Comes with the territory. Gonna try and keep it under control, but you know how people are. Inquisitor Lush. I had to skip side scrolls for obvious reasons. Yeah, fair enough. That's the least sincere apology ever, dude is still a piece of shit with no remorse. We'll get into that. We'll get into that for sure. I guess I'll just, well, you guys know the point of the open mics, for those who've been on before, but for those who are new, the open mics are which reminds me, actually, I need to fix the link, because the old one, I think, expired. But so for those who are new to the open mics, this is my show, podcast kind of thing, where I get on. Usually there's a key topic, and then I give you guys my opinion on it, usually go over some of the details so people have like a general idea of what we're talking about if they don't know at all. And then I have a link in the description, which I need to add now. My apologies, it's already not properly already in there. The link that's in the description right now, I think is the old one, and it expired, so I'm just generating a new one. So let me add that real quick. Apologies again that the old link is still there. So you guys might have to refresh the stream for the description to update. But I'm also going to put it in the chat so several of you don't have to. So what I'm linking right now in the chat is the call line Discord. It's where you guys can hop into one of 3 call rooms. And I'm going to pull you into a hidden chat to just have a one-on-one with me. Give your opinion on the topic in question. It's what it says on the tin. It's an open mic. It's a chance for you guys to voice your thoughts, not just have little old me telling you my thoughts. Because after all, that'd get boring after, 20 minutes. Now, if it was like varying topics, obviously I could keep that going for a while. But, So anyway, that's the gist of what my open mics are about. They're less about my opinion, although of course I'm the host. And if you come on, you disagree, I will argue my side of things. I welcome you to argue yours. For those who don't know me at all before this situation, though, know this. I'm an asshole. So I will always try and be nice, and I will meet the energy I get. So if you jump in a call and you're raging, I'm not afraid to hit you back and be an asshole. But if you want to come in, give a calm, cool, collected opinion, I'll try my best to meet that as well. Sound fair? That's generally the rules. That's, for language. Try and keep it YouTube friendly, but I don't get too hung up on swears. Also, don't forget to leave a like on the stream. It's always good to support the show. I also will say this. This is the last time, unless Dev does something else, you know. But this is the last time I intend to talk about Dev. Because I don't like talking about people I don't like ad nauseum. I do like to call them out when they do something stupid. I do like to call people out when they're assholes. But it gets old after a while to cover the same exact person over and over and over again. I got a heart of gold. Ah, come on. Don't lie. Don't trick people in the chat. Don't make them think I'm nice. Nah, I try my best to keep it even toned. Worthless apology from a disingenuous tool. Can't say I disagree with that. Good luck, peeps. Wishing you all healthy and constructive discussion. I'll only be able to listen for a few minutes. Ah, dang it. It's always fun to have Lady Rune song on. But it's good to see you, though, Les. It's always good to see you. Always happy to have you. So, actually, real quick. Just want to check something. Because it was $10. I'm just making sure there's no pages missing. He didn't say that, but you know how eBay sales go. No, there's no suspicious tear lines. Each page seems to flow into the other. No? It looks like a brand new condition. How the hell did I get this for $10? I don't know. If there is something wrong with it, I'll find out the hard way. I'll be like in the middle of reading it, and like all of a sudden there's a whole plot point gone. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, that's why it's $10. Dev can get fucked just like Destiny. I'm liking this crowd so far. Alright. Let me welcome some more people who just jumped in. USS Crushing. I can't say I'm surprised Dev is now trying to get ahead of this particular situation. I mean, it shouldn't be. The only surprise for me is that he went on side scrollers to do it. I didn't even realize they were friends. I figured he'd try it on the Archcast. Like, that's where I figured he'd try and make his defense. That or his own stream. Or, like, one of his own streams. That's where I figured he would try and mount a defense. I was surprised it was side scrollers. Maybe he did mount a defense on his own channel, but I'm not subscribed, so if he did, I missed it. I don't really care about Dev's apology. This is a pattern of behavior akin to our corrupt politicians. I would agree with that, personally. Yokai, bad faith Dev back at it again. Yes. Dev is very bad faith. I hope he's twitching. Problem with Dev is his ego is more massive than his body. That is very true. I've described Dev like this over the last couple of days, and I stand by it still, even after this apology. But Dev is he is the very image of the thing he's trying to convince people he is not. So you know how on his channel he has a bunch of like artworks of him being like this big fat, like the stereotypical Redditor mod, and he does that to try and put on the veneer of self-awareness and be like, oh, I know exactly who I am, you know, and he just tries to wear it as armor. Truth is, though, that's exactly who he is. He's just being honest. Docked Pelinol? I apologize if I mispronounced that. Sup, first time here as well. Welcome to all the new people. Alright, so it's for 3:21, 9 minutes early. So let's get in a little bit here. Hold on. Lord Metalman, welcome. I see you're also the first in chat. Arch probably arranged it. I'm not going to make any speculations on that, but I do know Arch is friends with side-scrollers, so it wouldn't surprise me if he did put in a word. But then again, I don't watch side-scrollers all the time, so very well could be that Dev had been on before, and I just didn't know. And he's been like a regular guest here and there, and it was just their personal decision to host his apology. I never heard of side-scrollers. Really? Yeah. Fair enough, I guess. How old is their channel? It's only like a year or two old, if that? Maybe? Okay. All right. So before we open the mics, obviously I'm going to do two things. One, I'm going to state my opinion on the apology, but before I do that, I'm going to show you guys the apology. For those who have not seen it, as though your chat is delayed. Yes, it is. I have tried to fix the latency issue, and every time I save the setting, it's on OBS's front, I think, because if I go to YouTube settings, I've set it so there's no delay. Like, it's supposed to be, like, I see the chat, I respond, and, like, it's maybe a second off. But, no. For some reason, there is a odd chat delay. I don't know how to fix it. I'll figure it out at some point. But yes, I will show you guys the clip here. Hold on, let me pull it up.
Blame you guys for reading it wrong.
Okay, so we're not going to start to the very, because goes on for a while, and I'm not going to show the whole thing. If you guys want to see the full stream over on Side Scrollers, go there, see the full thing. There's some super chats at the end where Dev answers the super chats. It's mostly just, yeah, you can think what you want kind of thing. But his actual dedicated response is towards the very beginning. So let's jump into that a little bit here. Okay.
Let's talk about your tweets.
All right. Let me lower the volume down a little bit. It's a little loud on my end. Let me know if it's too quiet.
Here's the first one right here. It says the bystander who was shot during the Trump assassination event was against Pence rejecting the false electors with a little SpongeBob here thinking thing. And this is in response to Americans had enough of Mike Pence on January 6th, 2021. This is over. This is a quote tweet of the man who had passed away.
Yes, that's his Twitter account.
Yes. So here we go. This is you talking about it. You're talking about him having was against Pence, rejecting the false electors. So here we go. I'll let you kind of get into this here. What was your
hold on to your butts and take a deep breath? You'll want to.
Thought on putting this? This is your first tweet that got put out.
Yeah. So to me, I've now been told that I've read this completely wrong. But to me, that SpongeBob meme.
Again. Prepare yourself.
Meme kind of feels the same way as the meme where the dog's sitting in the fire and he says, "This is fine," as everything burns around him.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of the same emotional vibe that I get from this picture. So when I put this out, this was me basically saying, "Oh, shit's about to hit the fan."
So immediately, I'm gonna say it. I do not believe Dev on this point at all. I don't. Because this is a rehearsed line he used on me on Twitter. Let me show you guys. So, because I've been on his ass on Twitter for a while now. I've also been on Destiny's, but a lot of other people are covering Destiny right now, and Destiny's out of my orbit. I think he's a total creep. There's so much there. That's more of a headache, and it's totally out of my sphere. So I think I'm going to let other people handle Destiny. Although I am going to take pot shots on Twitter. But, no, with Dev, it's a little bit different. Let's see here. Gotta love these replies. Here we go. Okay, so me and Dev had a back and forth. And the sad thing is despite the fact that I've left him numerous comments, the only time I was able to nail him down to a back and forth between the two of us was when I was arguing with somebody else on his posts about this situation. Even though he was directly complaining about me. So despite the fact that I was directly commenting on it, I could only nail him down when he was commenting to someone else replying to me. And he says, "I don't think he deserved to die, and I don't think any of the positions he held while alive justifies doing anything to him." Now, of course, I said, then why make these posts? Why do you hunt down his Twitter profile after his death? Why be a piece of shit and play dumb and bad faith when confronted? I stand by this. And he says, "The SpongeBob meme is everything is on fire meme." Now, everyone, I think, should have a total, hit the brakes moment and ask what the fuck. Because, chat, genuine question, all you lovely people. when you close your eyes and someone says the world's on fire meme, do any of you think this image? Any of you? I'll put it as a poll in the chat. I will put it as a poll in the chat. Put it in the poll in the chat. It's in. Cast your vote. But just reading your direct responses, no. What are you, crazy? Because that's the... No one thinks of this image. I'm sorry. Nobody. So I'm gonna be quite frank. I think this was Dev flailing. Like, he knew what it was. He knew what he intended it to be. But he immediately was like, I gotta make excuses! I gotta make shit up! So he's like, well, clearly, like, as you can see, Asmo, it's the world on fire meme. Like, totally. Anyone could think that, or make that mistake. Right? So, to be quite frank, the reason I think he ran with that and has rehearsed that line and is now repeating it on side scrollers is I think he think that works. Like I think he, like, now outside of like the most hardcore dev defenders, who the fuck is gonna believe that you were implying oh, everything's burning? When I look at this meme, I think, oh, he's implying concern. SpongeBob is looking on in wonderment, in questioning. Now, it's not quite as blatant as the meme of Batman doing the stroking of the chin, but that's more in vein with this than the other. This is the world on fire meme. This is the one everyone thinks of. So, immediately, I'm going to call it bullshit. That's not what you... It's pretty clear what this image is implying. It's, have you noticed? It's not, uh-oh, everything's on fire. That's not what it is. I don't believe him at all. And it felt like a really weird defense. But he says, and in the second post, I say outright doesn't justify it, which... you guys know my opinion on that. This doesn't justify it. It's the same shit as when someone says, I want to do this horrible evil thing to this other person, and then follows it up with, in Minecraft. It's to cover your ass. It's to make sure that there isn't a blatant easy target on you. It's that last sliver of defense. It's a little half wall. Because if it doesn't justify it, why post it? There's no other reason to post the Putin meme and the dead man's response to it, the dead fireman. There's no need to post that if it doesn't justify it. Because this was in response to Sargon's post where he was sharing from his stream chat where people were saying, "Hey, you shoot into a crowd of," because they mentioned the Kenosha shooting with Kyle Rittenhouse. They said, oh, you shoot into a crowd of lefties, you hit pedophiles. You shoot into a crowd of Republicans, you hit hardworking fathers whose families adore them. And this was Dev's response to that Sargon post. The guy who was shot was a Putin fan, LOL. This doesn't justify it, of course, but the joke, that statement made in Sargon's Twitch chat doesn't work. He's saying that statement, that the statement that the fireman was a hardworking fireman who shielded his and was adored by his family. That joke doesn't work because he's saying that cancels out that statement about the man. A joke response to a Putin meme. Is Dev beefing with Sargon? No. I wish, but no. So yeah, I had my back and forth with Dev, and it ended with me because he was like, "What is your goal here?" And I told him outright, I actually wanted him to apologize, which I was. Believe me or not, chat. Believe me or not. By the way, I'll end the poll now. I think we've had plenty of time. Oh, come on. All right, 74% no. What are you crazy? 25% yes. I'm gonna say this to the 25%. You trolling, lying, or you're brain rotted. I'm sorry. There's nothing about that SpongeBob meme screams world is on fire. Nothing. There's no flames in it, even. Actually, let's do the Google test. Let's do the Google test. World on fire meme. If I go to Google and it's not in the first 20 results, I think I've made my point. So let's go down the list. Hashtag like the world on fire. Guy pooping out fire. Oh, great. It's cropped. Yeah, let me do this. Alright, so out of the first 20 results, I do not see it. Nothing even SpongeBob related here. Nada. So, your Google search is affected by your own history.
According to Google Help, for example, if you search for chocolate cake and then search again for how to make, Google might be more likely to predict that you're searching for how to make chocolate frosting. These predictions are based on your past searches to give you better results and help you pick up where you left off.
Thank you, Skynet. I appreciate the interruption. That was not planned, but that was great. Amazing timing. Deadpool Kid, thank you for the $10, man. Much appreciated. Hey, man, I told Dev when he appeared on Side Scrolls today that although people may say vile things, the point of the fact is someone lost their father and his grieving decency died a long time ago. I unfortunately agree with that last part. Decency died a while ago. That being said, bringing decency back is going to take some time, for sure. The Overton window, as they say, is shifting. And it is chaos at the moment. Thanks, Skynet. Very cool. Yeah, that was actually kind of creepy, because I didn't even say the word, like the words it normally requires. But irregardless, okay, so anywho, let's continue with the clip.
Because the guy who was shot has this belief about Mike Pence. And the belief about Mike Pence is a long, drawn-out political conversation that you might not want to have on your channel. But the 15-second TLDR is that Trump tried to steal the election. Mike Pence prevented him from doing so.
Lies.
It wasn't like a violent thing. It was more of a legalistic, behind-the-scenes thing. And this all came out in Congress back in 2022.
Dev is lying. But it's not about the part that I care about anyway. So, but point is, he's lying there.
So when I saw Americans had enough of Mike Pence on January 6th, 2021, that's usually rhetoric used by people who are like pretty hardcore Trump fans, who basically believe that Mike Pence should have done what Trump asked him to do.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I posted this image,
welcome, Gabe Sweetman and Gunner NWP. Antique that.
Saying, "Oh my God!"
Forgot to welcome you guys. Mean Gene, welcome.
And it's going to become a big thing. It was me commenting on not him as a person, but rather what I think.
Okay, Dev, come on, get to the actual apology here, man.
So some people are you can already see the chat. People are like, you're saying this in bad faith. You're reframing things.
Right, oh yeah, the chat was great. In this specific moment, chat was amazing. Oh, people are. Oh, okay. People are just pointing out to me on the Discord that the SpongeBob meme in question is the Breathe In Boy meme. So it does have it's a specific kind of meme. Commonly used as a reaction image to various instances of people making an unwise decision. Okay, well there you go. So, see? It does have a specific context, and it's not the world on fire. Commonly used as a reaction image to various instances of people making an unwise decision. In this case, the unwise decision being, well, the fireman who was killed. In Dev's opinion. Also, I'm being DM'd. Check it real quick. Okay, it's the same thing. It's just a clarification. Alright. Sorry for the interruption. Alright.
Response to that.
I see
mean,
Dev
there's
is
not much I can
here.
do to convince
Hey,
him.
Dev, if you want to hop on,
Right.
there's a link in the
This is, like,
description.
here's the thing. I know that how I laid this out, looking back on it, does not convey what I intended to say.
I would love to have you
And,
on.
Like, I can't put out an excuse.
I'm
or,
not even
like,
kidding.
you know,
I would love to
blame
have
you
you on.
guys for reading it wrong or something. No, this is just me. This is just my fuck up. I wanted to say something, and I did not say it correctly, and for that I am sorry.
So you actually apologize for that. You
Alright. Let's rewind.
I did not. This is just my excuse or like not convey. Here's the thing. I know that how I laid this out, looking back on it, does not convey what I intended to say.
Right.
And like, I can't put out an excuse or like, you know, blame you guys for reading it wrong or something. No, this is just me. This is just my fuck up. I wanted to say something, and I did not say it correctly, and for that I am sorry.
Keep in mind, he's apologizing that is a specific wording. He's apologizing that the wording was incorrect. Meaning that there was a variant of this in which he made assertions about the bystander who was murdered that would have been okay. It was just this specific wording. He's not apologizing he said it, period. He's apologizing of the wording. So that's why I don't consider the apology valid. Because he's not apologizing. He's apologizing for the wording.
So you actually apologize for that. You apologize
Yes.
for putting out a tweet and like this is one of those things where
Simzo, thank you for
when
the super
you
chat.
have an instance like this, you would, I think if the natural response, if you were looking at this, a third party tweeted this, right? Not you, and you're looking at this, you would say, do you disavow this statement, right? Looking back on this, are you like, you know, are you like, ugh? Do you
Yes.
disavow your previous statement?
I do.
He disavows the wording. Again, keep that in mind. The wording. Not the tone, not the overall intent. The wording. Dev, I apologize for my wording, not my shit take. Exactly. That's why I don't consider it valid.
I do. Like if I wanted to talk about the victims' political persuasions, if they
All
were
right,
became
Tiki.
relevant, I would do it.
Real quick. So here's the thing. Here's something I do want to clarify. I believe that Dev has every right to say everything he said. I am not advocating for him to be deplatformed. At all. I've said that nowhere, and I will say that nowhere. Dev has every right to continue saying what he wants to say. I am exercising my free speech and calling him a scumbag for trying to dig up dirt on a dead man who is far better of a person than I will ever be, far better of a person than Dev will ever be. I'm not a firefighter. I don't jump into fires to save people's lives. I'm not as of yet a father of hopefully a loving family that I shielded from gunfire. I'm not that. Neither is Dev. This man who died is better than both of us, and probably half the people in this chat. No offense. But the point being, Dev has every right to say everything he said. 100%. YouTube should not ban him. Twitter should not ban him. Dev should not get any overarching consequences. Social consequences. Being called out for what he is, which is a scumbag and a snake in the grass. Abso-fucking-lutely. I stand by that. So, The point of all this is not to get him deplatformed. Not from me, anyway. Someone else out there might be wanting to do that, and I think they're wrong. But Dev has every right to say what he said. So let's not get it twisted, and don't assert motivations to me I don't have. But Dev, you are a shit person. Just saying.
Do it in a different way other than this. This was just a massive fuck up on my part, and there's really no excuse for it. So I'm sorry about that, guys.
See you later, Lady
Ben in
Rinsong.
the chat says his apology is sorry you took it the wrong way, and I don't. That's not what I heard.
That is exactly what I heard. And by the way, I also want to say this. No hate to side scrollers. I will never watch another episode Dev is on, but no hate to them at all. They're clearly friends with the guy on some level, so they're gonna see everything he says in the most charitable fashion. I totally heard, though, sorry you took it the wrong way. Because keep in mind, what did he apologize for? Did he apologize that he made the statement overall? No. He apologized for the wording. Oh, good. I'll pull you in right after we go through your side scrollers apology, Dev. See you in a second.
But Smash, is that what you heard?
Is
or
that what I meant?
No, I'm not hearing that. If anything, I was just not to play defense for Dev here, because I know the chat's going to start hitting me too. I mean, we've all had these kind of misunderstandings. One thing I do appreciate from Dev is his ability to talk about uncomfortable things that people don't want to focus on. And I want to give him credit for that, as much as it's painful and angers a lot of people. Like, my perspective on this is, why are you even talking about the dude that got shot? Like, let's focus on the shooter and that, and doing that.
Okay, so you get to dictate terms, do you, Dev? Okay, I'll pull you on. Excuse me. Wait, no, you're not. Waiting room, call, run. Oh, you're DMing calling. Okay. Hello?
Hello.
Hello.
Okay, so you mentioned earlier that I was lying
You were.
about Trump stealing the election.
Yes,
or
you were.
trying to steal the election, rather. Okay, tell me about it.
He did not steal the election.
Yeah, he failed.
No, he
tried.
didn't. He didn't.
Yes, he did.
No, he didn't. You are
Okay.
lying.
Oh, am I?
Yes, you
okay,
are.
tell me about it. Do you have an argument as to...
Like,
Because I have an argument as to how he did. But do you
Okay.
have one okay, do you want to hear it, or...
yeah, go right ahead.
Okay, so do you know the contents of the Eastman memo? Or do you know who John Eastman is?
I am not familiar with the contents, but I am familiar with John Eastman, yes.
Okay, what do you know about him?
I know he's involved on... Wait, no, I am thinking the wrong guy. Hold on.
No, that's fine. That's fine. Here, I'll paste to you in the chat. This is a PDF of the Eastman memo. So John Eastman was a lawyer that Trump retained, I think around Christmas Day 2020. I think that's around. But basically, the Eastman memo is the outline of Trump's attempt to steal the 2020 election. And it's all outlined there, and he tried to do it, and he failed. And the reason he failed is because of Mike Pence. So, do you want to know how he tried to do it?
Yeah, go ahead. Explain.
Okay, you know how the Electoral College works in the United States, right? You're an American, I assume you know.
Mm.
Okay, so after all of the votes have been cast, and then the state...
Wait,
sets
hold
up
on.
a- Oh, yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Before we get into this,
Mhm.
why did you look into dead fireman's background, trying to find shit on him?
Because I like digging things up.
Okay.
And I really don't care about any sort of moralizing about it, because after, for example, the Club Q shooting happened, I saw a whole bunch of right-wingers digging up the social media accounts of people who died in that. And you know what? That was fine to do too. It's always good to archive more information.
Okay,
So no,
then-
I'm not going to suddenly say, oh, it's bad to look into them. No, it's not.
Okay, fine. Let's say it's not bad to look into the background, which I think it is personally. But when you did, you found his January 6th opinion and Putin opinion and presented that as some kind of evidence to justify his death.
Nope.
Yes, you
not
fucking did.
justifying it.
Yes, you fucking did.
Nope, not justifying it. No.
Yes, you did.
Nope.
Yep. Yes, you
Oh,
did.
no, okay, fine. If I accidentally did that, I'll walk it back. Sorry, didn't mean to.
So you fully apologize for those statements. Not the
Absolutely.
wording, the full, even attempt.
What, to dig into him? No. I don't apologize looking into him. I do apologize putting it out there when I did. I do apologize putting out there how I did, but no. The actions of digging into him, like in and of itself, just on its own, isolated from any other context, no. Digging up information is always a good thing.
On a man whose blood hasn't even run cold.
Like I said, timing was the problem. You know, it was a too soon argument, and you know what? Fair enough, it was too soon. That was my lapse in judgment.
So you think it would have been okay if you'd done it later?
Like 3 months, 6 months, a year later? Sure.
Why do you think it would have been good to say, hey, this guy was okay to be murdered?
I never said he was
months
okay to be
later.
murdered. I never said that.
That is what you presented.
Nope.
Yes, it is.
None of my tweets say it is okay for him to murder this man. None of them say that.
Just because you didn't blatantly say it doesn't mean you didn't imply it, which you did absolutely imply it.
Well, I'm telling you right now, didn't mean that. If that's
That
how
is
it
what you
came
did.
off, if that's how it came off, if that's how I worded it, then that's my fuck up. Sorry, but
All
not my meaning.
Now, all right, now explain to me why the dead fireman's opinions about the insurrection on January 6th
hold on.
would have been relevant later.
So I've just gone down a rabbit hole with you. Now you're going to go down one with me a little bit, okay?
Okay.
So, do you have that PDF open?
Yep. Let me read it to the chat real quick. I want to read
Sure.
it to the full chat.
Go ahead.
It's only 2 pages for everyone listening. Privileged and confidential, January 6th scenario. 7 states have transmitted dual slates of electors to the President and the Senate. The 12th Amendment merely provides that, quote, the President of the Senate shall, in the presence of the Senate and House of Representatives, open all the certificates, and the votes shall then be counted. There is very solid legal authority and historical precedent for the President view that the President of the Senate... Wait, did I skip a line? Nope. There is a very solid legal authority and historical precedent for the view of the President of the Senate does the counting, including the resolution of disputed electoral votes, as Adams and Jefferson did while Vice President regarding their own election as President, and all the members of Congress can do is watch. The Electoral Count Act, which is likely unconstitutional, provides, if more than one return or paper purporting to be a return from a state shall have been received by the President of the Senate, those votes, and those only, shall be counted, which shall have been regularly given by the electors who are shown by the determination mentioned in Section 5 of this title to have been appointed. Oh, someone's adding me in chat. Scrump, I have arrived. Wait, who's
He wants to
Scrump?
come on. If he comes on, I'll leave.
Why?
We have long history, long before this, unrelated to this. I'm not talking to him anymore.
Why are you scared of him?
Keep reading, okay?
Okay. So I have a question of 2 or more of such state authorities determine what electors have been appointed. As mentioned in Section 5 of this title, is the lawful tribunal of such state the votes regularly given of those electors and those only of such state shall be counted, whose title as electors the 2 houses acting separately shall concurrently decide is supported by the decision of such state so authorized by its law. And in such case of more than one return or paper purporting to be a return from a state, if there shall have been no such determination of the question in the state this is turning into word salad. In question in the state of aforesaid, then those votes and those only shall be counted, which the 2 houses shall concurrently decide were cast by lawful electors appointed in accordance with the laws of the state, unless the 2 houses acting separately shall concurrently decide such votes not to be the lawful votes of the legally appointed electors of such state. But if the 2 houses shall disagree in respect to the counting of such votes, then, in that case, the votes of the electors whose appointed shall have been certified by the executives of the state, under the seal thereof, shall be counted. This is the piece that we believe we believe is unconstitutional. Okay, we believe is unconstitutional, so they don't know. It allows the 2 houses, acting separately, to decide the question, whereas the 12th Amendment provides only for a joint session. And if there is disagreement under the Act, the slate certified by the executive of the state is to be counted. Regardless of the evidence that exists regarding the election, and regardless of whether there was ever fair review of what happened in the election by judges and or state legislators, so regardless of the actual results. Scrump leak DMs to Dev, that's a no-go. Wait, he leaked DMs to you?
No, he leaked DMs of me, so I don't talk to him anymore. That's a hard line for me.
Okay. Jay is terrified of me. Okay. Feels weird. Anyway, so here's a scenario we propose. Okay, so they're proposing a scenario. VP Pence presiding over the joint session or Senate pro tempore Grassley, if Pence recuses himself, begins to open and count the ballots starting... Okay, so this is just their theory.
No. So the first page was what the law currently says. The second page is what is the plan that John Eastman drew up to steal the election and that Trump ultimately did sign off on.
Okay. Is there proof of the signing?
Of him sign? Okay, I meant colloquially signing off on.
So
I'm sure it wasn't written on it, but no. Well,
so
here,
is there
read-
proof
read-
that
read-
this is
wait,
real, is what I'm asking.
Yeah. Yes. Read the plan first, though.
Okay. Yeah, but send me the proof. VP Pence presiding over the joint session or Senate pro tempore Grassley, if Pence recuses himself, begins to open and count the ballots, starting with Alabama, without conceding that the procedure specified by the Electoral Count Act, if going through the states alphabetically is required. When he gets to Arizona, he announces that he has multiple states of electors, and so is going to defer decision on that until finishing the other states. This would be the first break with the procedure set out in the Act. At the end, he announces that because of the ongoing disputes in the 7 states, there are no electors that can be deemed validly appointed in those states. That means the total number of electors appointed... Oh God, who keeps DMing me?
It's probably people because I'm here, I'm assuming.
And I'm getting like 30. Guys, chill out. Okay, that means the total number of electors appointed. The language of the 12th Amendment is 454. This reading of the 12th Amendment has also been advanced by Harvard Law professor Lawrence Tribe. There's a link. It's an analysis? Okay, who gives a shit? A majority of the electors appointed would therefore be 228. There are, at this point, 232 votes for Trump, 222 votes for Biden. Pence then gavels President Trump as reelected. Howls, of course, from the Democrats, who now claim, contrary to Tribe's prior position, that 270 is required. So Pence says, fine. Pursuant to the 12th Amendment, no candidate has achieved the necessary majority. That sends the matter to the House, where the quote, the votes shall be taken by states, the representation from each state having 1 vote. Republicans currently control 26 of the state delegations, the bare majority needed to win that vote. President Trump is reelected there as well. One last piece. Assuming... Well, this isn't the one last. There's another one. There's another point after this. One last point. Assuming the Electoral Count Act process is followed, and upon getting the objections to the Arizona slates, the 2 houses break into their separate chambers, we should not allow the Electoral Count Act constraint on debate to control. That would mean that a prior legislature was determining the rules of the present one. A constitutional no-no. As Tribe was forcefully argued, so someone, Ted Cruz, Rand Paul, etc., should demand normal rules, which include the filibuster, that creates a stalemate that would give the state legislature more time to weigh in to formally support the alternate slate of electors if they had not already done so. The final point, the main thing here is that Pence should do this without asking for permission, either from a vote of joint session or from the court. Let the other side challenge his actions in court, where Tribe, who in 2001 conceded the president of the Senate, blah, 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 and others would press a lawsuit, would have their past position. That these are justiciable, not justifiable, just justiciable political questions thrown back at them to get the lawsuit dismissed. The fact is that the Constitution assigns this power to the vice president as ultimate arbiter. We should take all of our action with that in mind. Okay. And
So do you understand what's being said here?
Not fully, no. I'll admit it turned into word salad in my brain.
No, that's completely fair. Okay, so every state votes for president, but those states have electors. And what happens? I'm sure you know this. The votes determine what electors go to what candidate. Most states are one candidate takes them all. I think in Maine or some other state have like divided up electors, but whatever. Basically, the idea, originally written in the Constitution, is that you'd have your election, And then between the election and then January 6th, there would be time for the electors to be chosen by the states, and then the electors shipped off to Washington, D.C. Back then it was done on horseback, which is why it took so long to do it. But basically the idea is people vote for electors vote for candidate. There was a controversy in 2016 where you had like a commercial from a bunch of like dumb Hollywood progressives who are saying, listen, we know that Trump has won, but you have the power to change your elector vote and just not do what people said you should do, which was fucking retarded. What's going on here, though? What's going on here is that you had 7 states where people in the GOP showed up. They drafted false elector documents, and then they decided to go to the Capitol on January 6th as if they were the real electors. And then the Eastman plan was for Trump to look at the 2 sets of electors. One of them was legitimate, one of them was not legitimate, and say, well, I don't know what to do here, so I guess we'll just hold a vote on it, which is what he went over there.
Okay.
And based on all the various ways...
Let me hold you.
Hold on.
Where's the proof?
Okay, go ahead. The proof of the false electors?
Yeah.
Okay, so... just give me a second.
Because if you have proof, like if there's undeniable proof, I don't have a problem admitting this. I don't know anything about this situation.
Oh, I completely understand. So, just as an example, so this was a comparison between the real electors from Arizona and the fake electors from Arizona. A lot of this stuff was presented not only in court, but also in the January 6th committee back in 2022. So a lot of this stuff was presented there. In fact, this specific picture comes from this article on all of the various people in these 7 states who are being charged. And so there's the article if you want to read it as well. But basically, a lot of these people who drafted these false documents, they're all getting charged for, drafting a false document.
They're being charged, but they've not been convicted.
Some of them have been convicted, but a lot of the cases are still ongoing. Yes.
All right. Can I look at it? So, where are the convictions listed?
Let's take a look. We can go look. We can go find the stuff together if you want. Let's see.
Charges against Trump's 2020 fake electors are expected to repeat this year.
Let's see. By December 2023, 24 fake electors have been criminally charged in 3 states. Okay. A grand jury indicted 6 Republican Party officials in Nevada. Okay. Yeah, it does seem like a lot of this stuff is ongoing. But they didn't have enough to bring him in. Not yet, no. Doesn't seem like
so
it.
theis no proof.
Let's see.
No confirmation.
No. Hold on.
No, there's no. That is what that means. There's no convictions.
No. What is an indictment?
An indictment is not a conviction.
No, it's not. But what is it though?
It's when they push it to sentencing, isn't it? I could be wrong about that.
So the indictment is where you lay out all the proof against them, and then you have to take it to court, right? And then usually the court decides. Sometimes there's procedural things that fuck with you, or sometimes there's like other evidence that comes out in discovery that fucks with you. But for the most part, I mean, these people,
right? But no convictions.
Let's see.
Because you told me just a few minutes ago there were convictions.
Yep. Just give me a moment.
So they've been accused. They've not been convicted.
Okay. So here, I'll send you this article here. For example, in Michigan, the reason that they weren't convicted is because they took a plea deal. So the evidence against them was strong enough to convict them, but they're like, hey, I'll plead down to something else. Okay. Let's see.
But they weren't convicted.
You know what a plea deal is, right?
Yeah, but that's not a conviction.
Oh my God, dude. Listen.
It's not a conviction. Sorry.
You don't take plea deals if you have like rock solid proof that you're innocent, all right? Okay, hold on.
All right, now that we've gone down this fucking rabbit hole for way too long.
No, we're not done with it yet, because this is also another important part here.
We've gone on for this for as long as I went on for my other thing. I get to go back to my thing. Thank you.
In Georgia, just real quick, in Georgia, for example, the guy just pled guilty. He just said, "Yeah, I did it."
Yeah, people are saying yes, you absolutely do, and that's a good point. You do plead down if they bully you enough.
Okay, but it's also not just that, is it? It's also that there's evidence against you, and it's credible evidence.
Yeah, but why should I believe that scenario over the scenario that they were being threatened and pushed down?
I'd like to see proof of that. It's
I like
possible.
to see
I wanna
proof that
proof.
I like to see proof of the opposite. You're
Well, there's
making
these
an
articles of
assumption
people-
based on your own biases. So am I. We're allowed to do
Okay,
that.
okay. So you're saying that like they never actually drafted these false electors? This is all like made up bullshit?
It could very well be. Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. Give me a moment. So here it is. Here's a video. You don't got to watch all 5 minutes. That's a bit too long. But watch like the first minute of it, because this is the attempt in Michigan for these people caught on video to try and deliver the fake electors. This is all out there.
Wait, the third link or which of these links?
The YouTube link.
Okay.
Yeah. Where it says Republicans tried to deliver their own electoral votes to the Michigan Capitol, and they were stopped at the door by the police. This is them trying to bring in the fake electors. This is them doing it.
Chat, I know this is pointless, but I'm playing along for now.
So you're telling us we can't enter?
I like how it's pointless to show you the evidence that Trump tried to steal the election.
This is not evidence. This is not evidence. If it was evidence, they'd be convicted. You've presented no convictions.
I have presented them pleading guilty. Like you don't do that if there's nothing.
You do that if you do. There are plenty of scenarios where you do that and you're not actually guilty. There are many people in prison right now who have pleaded guilty to a lesser charge because they were bullied and convinced that if they didn't, they would be essentially sent away, even though they weren't guilty.
You know what? That's actually fair. That's actually fair. You hear about like guys who were in the wrong place, wrong time. They plead down to lesser charge because they didn't actually kill the guy, but they walk by 5 minutes later. Like, no, I understand.
Yeah.
Do you really think that people who have been chosen in this capacity as part of the Republican machine don't have at least some of the resources to go to court over this shit? You think it's the same scenario? There ain't no fucking way, dude. These people could have absolutely fought these charges. The reason they didn't is because they would have gotten fucked. Because they actually did do this stuff. And in fact, the people like the guy in this video that I sent you, he's one of the guys that went to court. He's one of the guys who lost.
What I said was, for the Capitol Commission, for the governor's office, for the Speaker of the House.
The most important part of this is the fact that Trump was what the whole plan hinged on was Trump bullying Mike Pence into accepting the false electors as legitimate. Because everything else here did not matter unless Mike Pence played along. And Mike Pence didn't play along because he is a goddamn American patriot who understands the value of democracy. So he said no, which is why, by the way, most people in MAGA, they fucking hate him. But we do have proof, in fact.
All right.
That
I
Trump
got a super chat,
pressured
$5. There were two sets of electors in Kennedy v. Nixon in the 1960 presidential election. This isn't new.
Very true. Yes, we can talk about that. So 1960, Kennedy versus Nixon. Here's what happened. There was a recount in Hawaii. And it was one state, not 7 states, but it was one state for them. There was a recount. What ends up happening is Nixon initially won the state. The recount went through. The electors were already set into place, but the recount went long, and then it turned out that Nixon actually won the state. Sorry, Kennedy won the state. So it flipped from Nixon to Kennedy. So what happened was the state government drafted a new set of electors. So there were actually 2 sets of electors that were on the way to the Capitol, and they sent along a message. I mean, this is 1960. They have phones at this point. So they sent along a message saying, hey, listen, it's the second set that is legitimate. The reason that you can have dueling electors in the 1960 case is because the state government legitimized the second set. No state government legitimized any of Trump's 7 extra sets of electors, which is why they're all fake.
All right, real quick, another super chat. Charze Kitsune for $4.99. Asmogan, Scrump is ready and waiting. Call his bluff. No, he's not. Is he?
Well, I've already told you how I feel about that.
Yeah, I'm just looking because I don't see anybody else in my
The final
DMs.
part is pressuring Mike Pence. So did you watch any of the January 6th committee in front of Congress?
I
back in
did not.
2022?
No. At that point, I had kind of tuned out from politics because I had already gotten into too many fights over it. I actually
Oh, I
got
don't
dragged
blame you,
back
dude.
into it
It's
because of the
fucking-
January 6th crap.
Yeah, it's fucking brain rot. I agree with you. Okay, here. So this is just a basic overview of his testimony, where Mike Pence basically said, "Yeah, Trump did try to, in fact, push me into doing this. I said no because it wasn't legal, but he tried to push me into doing this." And also, Trump alludes to it in his January 6th speech. You know, the one where he's standing in front of like the bulletproof glass. He has like the gloves on.
Mhm.
You know that speech? Yeah. So here's the transcript of his speech. if you do like a quick search for Mike Pence, he says, I hope Mike Pence is going to do the right thing, because if Mike Pence does the right thing, we win the election. Oh, what does Mike Pence have to do other than count the votes, Trump? And he says, Mike Pence has to come through for us. If he doesn't, that'll be a sad day for our country. So he says, they want to recertify votes, but the only way that can happen is if Mike Pence agrees to send it back. Mike Pence has to agree to send it back. So, and then the audience chants, send it back. This is out of Trump's own speech. So, at this point, Trump has lost his court cases. There is no sending it back. It's January 6th. It's time to count the votes. There's already a precedent established from the 2000 election, Bush v. Gore, where once you hit a certain point, that's it. The votes are now set. All right? And Trump lost all of his cases. So there's no path forward unless he can get Mike Pence to accept 7 sets of false electors and pretend like they're real. All right? This isn't a violent insurrection. This isn't, people marching on the Capitol like a rebel army or something. This is a legalistic self-coup. All right?
Okay.
A self-coup is when you use loopholes to go against like an established constitution in order to illegally extend your own power. So this is Donald Trump trying to steal the election from Joe Biden in 2020.
Right. The only thing you proved to me is that you don't know you're lying. And to be fair, I now don't know you're lying. Because I thought you were talking about the insurrection of the people who went into the Capitol. That's what I thought you were referencing. By the sounds of it, you're
that was also a violent riot
thing.
too. That was also a violent riot. It was full of fucking retards too. All right. I know we've all seen the video of the grandma, slowly walking through the Capitol building, and everyone's saying, "Well, how can this person be a fucking insurrectionist?" And she's not, obviously.
You say they were violent. Who died?
Yeah.
No, genuine. You giggle and laugh. I know you like to laugh at innocent people dying, but please tell me who died in that riot, that violent riot you talk about.
From what I understand, 3 people died of unrelated causes. One guy's like a heroin dude, one guy's like a heart attack. He was fat or something. And then Ashley Babbitt died. Her name was Ashley Babbitt, right? That's the name. Was that her name? I forget her name. Anyway, one chick died. One chick died because she was breaking through a fucking window, and then a security guard shot her as she was trying to break in.
No, she was being pushed forward. She wasn't trying to break it.
Fair enough. Who was pushing her forward?
The crowd.
Right. And what was the crowd doing?
They were trying to flood in and admittedly get into the room. But she did not break that window.
Specifically?
Who knows? We don't know. They didn't do it. They didn't get in.
They did get in. Oh, wait, hold on. Have you not seen? So no, that's right. You haven't seen the January 6th Commission. You already said that. Okay, so there's video of them running through the Capitol building of them smashing down doors, smashing down windows. There's this all came out, man. All the security footage, all of it. It wasn't just old people wandering through the Capitol, though it was also old people wandering through the Capitol after the fact. But no, the initial breach in was a crowd of people that smashed in looking for Mike Pence.
Okay. Now that we've gone down your rabbit hole for fucking forever.
Well, no. Okay, here. The end of the rabbit hole is right here. All right. So, do you think Trump tried to somehow steal the 2020 election?
No.
Why not?
Because you presented me no concrete evidence. You presented a testimony from a man who was biased and no convictions. To a theory.
So the actual guilty doesn't matter. The fact that we do
no, because Trump, it was under duress.
Okay, we do have Trump, retaining John Eastman. We have that. All right. There were phone calls that came out with a bunch of people on the line, including John Eastman, with guys like Ted Cruz. That came out in the January 6th Commission. All right. We have Trump's speech where Trump is saying Mike Pence has to do the right thing. What did Trump mean when he said that? When Trump says in the speech, Mike Pence has to do the right thing. What is he talking about there exactly?
I don't know. I can't read the man's mind.
You can't read the man's mind.
No. Neither can you.
True. But
you're making presumptions based on your bias and dislike of Trump.
All the other evidence
not even making a presumption. I don't fucking know.
Okay.
All right. We've gone down your rabbit hole. Can we
you know what?
get
true.
to...
Very true. The shooting, right? The shooting. Okay. Actually, I do have a question for you about the shooting. So the guy who was actually the shooter who shot at Trump, what do you think his motivation was?
I do not know. Probably to
No.
kill a president that he was convinced was Hitler by a shit ton of manipulative brainwashing media.
Really?
Yes.
Why do you say that?
Well, given that recent photos have come out that the guy was trans, he donated to Act Blue, which is a Democratic left-leaning fund. The guy's clearly very partisan and pretty young, 20 years old. I don't know he was in college, but presuming he went to college. He's been inundated and surrounded by a left-leaning ideology and media. That's very clear. Otherwise, why would he take the energy and the money to donate to their cause? Why would he do that? So
Yeah, I generally agree with you.
Okay.
I generally agree with you on this. But notice how you're able to, even though you can't read his mind, take a bunch of evidence that kind of all points in one direction. It's kind of soft evidence, but it all points in one direction. And you can lay it out and you can say, you know what? This was probably his motivation. This is probably what he was thinking. We don't need to read his mind to understand. So, I've done the same thing with Trump. I've looked over everything. I've looked over all the evidence. It's all soft evidence, but it all points in one direction. And I'm very, very, very convinced that, yeah, Trump tried to steal the fucking election, dude. It's not even hard to admit that. Based on everything that's been laid out, the fact that we got the phone calls, we got Mike Pence's testimony, we got Trump's fucking speech where he says it, we have the video of the fake elector guys outside the fucking, like, how could you possibly, like, how is it possible that you have this selective mind reading power, where you can intuit what this shooter is thinking based on, you know, like $15 to Act Blue, but with all this other shit laid out, you can't go against Trump?
No.
Right. So, which one of us is actually the partisan hack here?
Uh,
Because I agreed with all the shit you said about the shooter.
Who's Wes Wyleven? They say they know you.
So I didn't lie, did I?
No, I already conceded that earlier. You didn't lie. I still think you're wrong, but you didn't lie.
Well, it was nice to get that out of you.
You're welcome. Now, we're done with your fucking rabbit hole.
What do you want to know about me and the? You're right. I owe you this. What do you want to know about me and the and my edgy tweets?
What was your motivation? What was your motivation, your mindset when you made them? Be honest.
Well, I laid it out in the side scrollers thing. I don't think you got into that point yet. The one regarding Sargon was just a back and forth with Sargon I should have had with him privately, since I know him privately. And the other one was basically me saying, knowing what MAGA's rejection of Pence means and what it means in terms of the Eastman memo and the attempt to overturn the election. As soon as I saw that tweet, I was like, oh my God, shit's going to go down. Shit is going to go down. Because people on the left are going to see this and they're going to know what it means and they're going to lose their fucking minds. And that's what I meant. It was not actually any sort of indictment against him. All right?
All right. Real quick, Wes Wyleven is asking to come in. He says he knows you.
No, thank you.
Okay, what's your problem with this guy?
He's been demanding a debate with me for years. And to be fair, I haven't completely articulated to him that I just haven't had time to do it. But he has since kind of gone off the deep end. I'm not interested in talking to him.
Gone off the deep end, how so?
Personal drama again.
Okay.
So anyway, regarding my tweets. So yeah, it's one of those things where I don't regret digging into the man, because it's always good to get more information about anything that's coming out. It's good to get more information about shooters, about victims, about targets. It's always good to see where they might have lied politically, what they might have said. Even if it ends up not being all that useful for a future video or something, it's always good to know more. It's always good to understand more ideas. My problem was that I said it too soon. I don't usually do this when I research a video. I don't usually do this. I'll usually just research it and keep my mouth shut. I'll dig up tweets. I'll dig up information. I'll archive it, keep my mouth shut. But I was live tweeting as I was looking through things. It was a dumb fucking thing for me to do. So I apologize on side scrollers. I'll apologize here. I'm sorry to anyone who's listening. I'm sorry to you, but I shouldn't have done it. However, if you want me to be guilty or feel guilty for the act of looking at his social media, the answer to that is no.
Let me ask you this point blank.
Sure.
When it comes... Oh, actually, let me lay this out. Let me lay out to you what I see.
Okay.
Because this is exactly what went through my mind when I saw your tweets. This, you say you were researching. You were in the background. You were looking into it. Fine. I'm not going to say it's inherent bad. I don't like how soon you did it. But you did it. Let's ignore the quickness of it. Why did you tweet out like those specific things? Like in the response to Sargon tweeting about the chat he received. The one saying you shoot into a crowd of lefties, you hit pedophiles and rapists. You shoot into a crowd of Republicans, and you hit a hardworking man loved by his family and his community. And you said your tweet was in contradiction to that. And it was showing the Putin joke.
Yes, and that's
now
true.
the
And
only
you know what?
interpretation I can think of is that you were trying to say no, this Putin joke makes him just as bad.
As one of Kyle Rittenhouse's guys.
That's the implication I got from your tweet. Yes.
Right. Yeah, that's not what I meant.
Then what
And
did
this
you
is
mean?
why
Lay it out
this is why I woke up-
specifically.
Sure. I did it in the stream as well, but I'll do it here again. And this is why I woke up the next day and I was like, yeah, I fucked that up. I should have been a lot more careful with what I was saying. No, what I meant by that was that there's evil on the right, there's good on the left. It's not like one side is just has the better people on it. And that they might not be exact equals, but no one is actually truly good or evil. Not really.
But you
have
use
good aspects.
You
Well,
use
hold
the
on, let me-
firefighter.
You asked me to explain, so I'm going to explain it.
Go.
Right? So I point out the firefighter because the firefighter was not a fully good person. He had some bad opinions, and bad opinions tend to be downstream from bad morals. So there are instances, and I should have actually used a different tweet in retrospect if I was going to make this tweet, though I shouldn't have made the tweet anyway. But if I was going to do it, if I was going to do it again and still do it, I would have used the tweet where he advocated for killing environmental protesters, because I kind of hate some of the environmental protesters, but I don't think we should kill them. That's a bit ridiculous. But still, nonetheless, he had some bad takes. Those bad takes come from some bad policy views. Those bad policy views tend to come from either ignorance or bad morality. To be honest, it's probably more ignorance than bad morality. But, yeah, it is not me necessarily saying that they're the same as Kyle Rittenhouse's rapists and pedophiles, and I think one was a wife beater, that he ended up shooting at. Not the same, but rather I was fighting back against the general idea that right good, left bad.
Okay.
And I should have told that to Sargon earlier. And you know what? Going back and reading that tweet, it doesn't say anything like what I wanted it to say. So that's just my fuck up.
Right. And you can understand why people read that though, and
of
thought
course.
which I quite frankly still think. I don't believe you, to be honest.
That's fine. But yeah, no, I understand. But my bad. It was my fault.
Okay. And we've already gone over the SpongeBob meme.
Mm-hmm.
So again, my take on now this is me going forward. I still stand by. I'm not going to watch anything with you in the future. Again, I still think genuinely, and you're going to stand by your defense of yourself. That's fine. But I genuinely don't like your apology on side scrollers, because you added a lot of qualifiers and you didn't just say flat out, "I'm sorry, I was completely wrong," and moved on. You said it wasn't okay.
I wasn't
right
completely
now.
wrong. I wasn't completely wrong. That's why.
Thank you for that. Okay. Well, thank you for coming
I wasn't
on.
completely wrong. Of course not.
Yeah, thank you for coming on.
That's
Dave.
obvious. So did Trump steal the
You
election?
Fucking fat Redditor. Oh my god. Oh, fuck me. He admitted he didn't really apologize. He admitted he didn't really apologize. He didn't mean it. Oh my fucking god, dude. Fuck me, my brain. Sweet Jesus. He's not sorry. He just said it. He's not fucking sorry. What the fuck was that? I wasn't wrong. I wasn't wrong to do what I did. A person totally feeling apologetic says that. Fucking clown. Wow. For a second there, I had my doubts. No, that was bullshit. I'm not wrong. I wasn't wrong. All right, I'm gonna pull on a couple more people here. Hold on. Holy shit. Sorry for wasting so much time on that fucking political rabbit hole, though. Jesus. All right, let me see here. Wes Wyleven, what's up?
How you doing, buddy? Can you hear me all right?
I can hear you. I can hear you. Did you hear that? The end of that?
Oh, yeah, I heard the whole thing.
He just admitted that he's not. He basically admitted, "I'm not sorry."
Well, he half admitted, and it's the same thing that he did on Side Scrollers, you know, where he goes, "I was too hasty and I should have held back, but," and it's that but that's the problem. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Am I coming in all right? Can you hear me clearly and all that? I just got a slightly tweaked setup, so I want to make sure everything's okay.
Oh yeah, I can hear you.
All right, great. So I have known Dev for, geez, I've been an internet friend of his since Gamergate, so about 10 years now. I have, you know, I've ran the gamut with him. We've debated about plenty of topics, sometimes even quite heated. But it was always civil until 2020. And you know, bounced ideas for videos off me and admittedly a bunch of other people. I'm far from a cherished and valued confidant or anything like that. But I have known him for a very long time, and I am also friends with people who knew him since Gamergate. Aiden Paladin, the great pink wizard himself, Oozaloo, Scrump, several others, whom he has all ostracized for one reason or another since 2020, and there have been various reasons, but it's interesting that he brought up the 2020 election, because I do genuinely believe that the 2020 election actually broke Dev to a certain extent. And the reason why, and by the way, feel free to interrupt me. I tend to ramble.
No, it's fine. I do have and I'm looking for a shorter answer on this question, but
yes,
when it comes to this specific situation with Dev, you say you know him, you say you know what he's like.
Oh yeah.
Would you say, based as a character witness, that my and a lot of people's interpretation when he posted these tweets, he stands by the defense that, oh, it was poorly worded, I meant as this general defense, but with his specific example of the man who was murdered, do you think that it's, as he says, it was just this general overarching defense for not like the two sides, it's not one-sided situation, and that he just screwed up because he used the wrong specific example? Or do you think he was actually trying to paint the murdered firefighter as the bad guy?
So I will answer that question with a description of how Dev views the world, if you don't mind.
Mm-hmm.
So Dev, and here's the thing: Dev is about my age. I don't know how old you are, sir. This is the first time I've talked to you or seen your streams. But
I'm 24.
Okay, so you're on the younger side. I am 38 years old. And Dev is around the same age, as are several other people that are involved in this issue. And when you grew up in the 90s, you grew up with the mentality of the right wing being, finger quotes, right wing. I hate that term. I hate the term left right. Yeah. But you grew up with this idea that the Republicans are the religious fundamentalist authoritarians, and the left wing, the Democrats, are the free thinking, you know, Richard Dawkins types, you know, the cool kids, the rebels, the guys fighting against authority. And because you grew up, we all grew up with that mentality. When YouTube and things like that first came about, it was popular to rag on the religious fundamentalists. You know, you had your amazing atheists and short fat otaku and all of them who were ragging on them. It was cool to rag on the right, and that was fine. I Bible reloaded all that. Then there was a shift change around the time Obama got elected, and things started to shift towards the authoritarians shifting towards what we colloquially called woke ideology, right?
Right.
And then you had more and more people, more and more power, more and more authority going on that side. And then you had people like Dev who saw it and started calling it out. Kudos to him. Agreed with him completely. Gamergate happens. 2013, 2014. First major pushback against it. He's on there. Carl's on there. Sargon of Akkad. Bunch of other people, including my buddy Uzulu, are all on there, right? And but as this starts happening, as this keeps going, they realize, oh my God, I'm siding with Republicans. I can't handle this because Republicans are bad. So this went one of two ways. Either they started siding more with the Democrats, more with the left-leaning folks, because I can't be seen as right-wing. I can't be seen as Republican. This would mean I'm bad because I remember when I was younger and they were bad. And then you had people like Sargon of Akkad and Uzlu and Dev, among others, of course, who were like, well, maybe there's a middle road here. And they became the radical centrists. Remember that?
Yeah.
And the problem with that, though, is the problem with trying your best to maintain quote unquote centrism, as Dev calls it. Dev got this mentality of centrism being, I'm going to criticize the right as much as I criticize the left. Now, the problem with that is we now live in a world where the left, and I hope you know what I mean by the left, authoritarian, collectivists, all that stuff. The left owns all of academia. They own almost all of Western civilization politics. They own almost all of the major corporations. They own almost all of popular culture. They have taken over almost everything. Now, they are losing that. They are in the process of losing a lot of that, as observable reality can show. But you do have people out there like Dev that go, well, I am criticizing the left a lot. That means I have to criticize the right a lot. The only problem with that is there's a lot less to criticize on the right because they have a lot less people in the open facing talking. That's a horrible way to put it. I apologize. But like, there's a lot less stuff that the right wing covers because they are the underdogs right now. So Dev will go, under normal circumstances, Dev will go, there's a problem with Trudeau, there's a problem with Biden, there's a problem with pop culture, there's a problem with Hollywood. But I need to maintain my finger quotes centrism, TM. So hold on, let me try to find something in the right. Let me try to find something in the... yes, Bubba Blackhater 1488 on Twitter with 15 followers and 10 likes. He's bad too, guys. Look at him. He's evil. He's bad. And he ends up spending every bit as much time as he does criticizing academia, criticizing mainstream politics, criticizing legitimate things that deserves to be criticized. And he gives the same amount of time to the proverbial Bubble Blackhater 1488 on Twitter. And that's the main problem. See, and roundabout thing. The reason why he criticized the firefighter, to get to your direct question, the reason why he criticized the firefighter is because, and the reason why he just gave a non-apology is because he needs to maintain centrism, TM. Corporate centrism, surface centrism. Because if he just goes, oh my God, I just basically ragged on a man who literally jumped in front of a bullet to save his family. This is fucking horrible. I apologize. Is it okay if I curse?
Yeah,
I'm on your stream. Okay. I am. What I did was horrific. It's unexcusable, and I am so sorry. There is absolutely no place for that type of action. I'm going to immediately delete my tweets. I'm going to immediately give public and private apologies, and I'm going to give X amount of money to the family's GoFundMe. Because that's what I would do. And in our short conversation, I have a feeling that's what you would do.
Yeah,
and that's what
absolutely.
that's what Oozaloo would do. I can tell you that right fucking now. That's what Oozaloo would do. That's what Scrump would do. And that's what Aiden Paladin would do. 3 people, by the way, that Dev has completely ostracized. Oozaloo's in your chat if you want to bring him on next or with me. I'm his friend. It's fine. That is the reason why. Long story short.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry about the long answer. Apology.
No,
I tend to ramble, as I said.
Okay. So when I'm taking, well, first of all, one thing I would like to state, at least as far as my understanding of what centrism should be, it definitely sounds like his approach to centrism is entirely wrong. Because centrism isn't about like fighting with both sides all the time. Like it sounds like that's the, unless I'm misunderstanding. Feel free to correct me if I'm misunderstanding.
Sure.
But it sounds like Shorefat Otaku, by your own descriptor, he's looking at everything from the angle of the debate, of the fight. But generally speaking, centrism as a thing is supposed to be, it's like independency. It's like okay, there are some points the right has that I agree with. There are points the left I agree with. It's not taking the middle ground on everything. It's, okay, here's something from the right I agree with, here's something from the left I agree with. And it's topic to topic, thing to thing. That's generally what centrism is supposed to be. And you would say Dev doesn't take that interpretation, or does he? But just hasn't been exercising it properly.
So here's the thing with Dev. As I said before, 2020 broke him. The 2020 election broke Dev. As I'm sure you saw, you heard him talk about it. The Eastman memo and the false electors, and he was proven wrong in court. That's simply a lie. If you want to get into the 2020 election, we can go down that slight rabbit hole if you want to.
Please.
And
no.
if you, exactly. I tell you what though, Oozaloo and I, we spent days, literal days in 2020 while it was happening and long afterwards, looking into it. We know quite a bit about it. If you're ever curious about it, contact myself or Oozaloo. We'd be more than happy to talk to you and correct some of the shit that Dev was saying. But all of that being said, the 2020 election broke Oozaloo. Apologies. The 2020 election broke Dev. Okay. And this is where it's coming from. Because Dev goes, no, hold on, wait a minute. Because he has admitted himself. He saw what was going on in the 2020 election and said, oh, wait a minute. This looks suspicious. High definition footage of people running ballots through 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times, 250 to 300% voter turnouts in some counties. This is weird. What is going on here? And then the coping started. Wait a minute. That can't possibly be. The world, the United States can't possibly be that corrupt. These states can't possibly be that corrupt. I know what it must be. And then a lot of the people that he's been spending a lot of time with lately, which are individuals that he is attracted to, sexually, which are of the more left-leaning proclivities. And he's been spending a lot of time with them. He gives them a lot of attention. They give him a lot of attention back. And they're like, oh, yeah, no, it's completely fake. It's completely fake. And he started taking that and he started internalizing that. Hold on.
When you say... Okay, can you clarify what you just... That last statement?
Sure. What would you like me to clarify?
So you say it's sexually attracted to...
He wants to fuck trannies.
Okay.
That's the long and short of it. I know that sounds crass. I know that sounds very abrupt. And I know that sounds silly. But he likes ladyboys. And he is sexually attracted to, as he has said many, 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 many times, I'm bi. He is sexually attracted to men who dress like women.
Okay.
And look, if that's your personal proclivity, go sick. My buddy Scrump isn't.
Yeah, as long as they're. Who gives a shit as long as they're adults.
Consenting adults are going to consenting adults, whatever you do. But the problem is, he had been lusting after certain ones for a while, and bro, look, man, you're 24 years old. You know what it's like to go after a girl.
Yeah.
What is one of the first things you do when you go after someone? When you actually get into a conversation with someone that you like and they start talking about some crazy shit, you go, oh yeah, no, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Oh yeah, oh no, I agree. Yeah. Trust me, man. I've been around the block. I've nailed more than my share of communist hippie chicks. All right. I know what it's like. All right. Oh yeah, no, exactly. No, Florida, where I'm from, Florida is going to be underwater in 10 years, she said in 2006.
Okay.
Yeah, no, yeah, that type of thing.
Hold on. All right, so I feel like I'm getting drowned in details. No offense.
Apologies.
It's fine. Okay.
There's a lot here, so I am sorry. There's layers here, and I'm trying my best to give it to you in concise and easily digestible ways.
Yeah. So look, I'm not this. Okay. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, man.
It's fine,
I'm sorry.
Fine. Look, I'm just gonna say this plainly.
Yeah.
I'm getting overloaded here, and the
That's
chat
fine.
is full of people who would like to come on. It is an open mic.
Sure.
These are more designed for the public to come on and in.
Sure.
If it's all right with you and your friend there,
Oozaloo.
If it's all right with you guys, if it's all right with you guys, I'd like to pull in, the crowd and let them get their takes in.
Absolutely. I'll sit in the background and all that good stuff.
Yeah, no offense, because right now it's a lot.
There's a lot.
There's a lot.
And if you want to, if you're interested in this at a later date, we can hang out. Not even on stream or anything. If you have questions, ask them. I'll be more than happy to answer. And I'm not the only one. Like I said, Oozaloo, Aiden, Paladin, Scrump, they're the three big ones that Dev has ostracized because they were bad faith and dishonest and all of that stuff. So,
right. Well, thank you for the details you've given me thus far.
No problem, buddy.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I know. You have dipped a toe into a puddle and it turns out it's an entire cavern. So
yeah, I've fallen,
apologies.
I've fallen into a depth I did not realize was there. That's for sure. Thank you, man. I'm gonna pull on some other people, but thank you.
Yeah, no worries. And this is why, by the way, you see every time Dev is on a live stream or something, that you just see a sea of negative responses. It's because this stuff hasn't gotten out, and every time that there's a live stream and he soft shoes around, they go then, and the host is like, oh, you've been great, thank you so much for coming. He's like, oh yeah, and then the chat is just full of negative responses because this is the type of shit that has happened. This is how, I don't want to say devious and I don't want to say dishonest, because I genuinely do think he believes he's telling the truth. And that's kind of one of the reasons why it's so, it rubs people the wrong way so strongly. But anyway.
Right. Right. Thank you for coming on again.
No problem, buddy.
And I'll definitely consider talking to you and your friend another time. It's just a lot to absorb for the drama and the stuff that's happened, the history. I am interested. It's a lot at once.
Not a problem. Like I said, if you have any questions, just let me know.
Absolutely. Thank you. I just need 1 second, chat. 1 second. Oh, God damn it. I will admit, this is taking turns I could not have predicted. I figured Dev might show up when I have a conversation. This has been a hell of a... This is why you need to drink on streams like me. I might start. Holy fuck. Okay. You can't handle the truth. Not yet, anyway. Give me some time. Holy crap. Oh, God. Okay, so what was that again? That was Wes Wyleven. Fuck me, names are not Wyleven. My apologies. Someone who is familiar with Dev, as they say, and Dev acknowledged to knowing the person earlier. That, and there's another person here. Why the name keeps with the Daily Wizard. Oh, God damn it. Missed a couple of super chats. I did. I'm so sorry. Well, I apologize deeply to any super chats I missed. Let me go back to those before I forget. And oh my God. I swear, chat, this was meant to just go over the freaking apology. It's turned into the 2020 election. It's turned into finding out about the deep, dark dives of Dev's background. Holy crap. RMX, thank you for more deep Dev deep lore. Maybe another time. For right now. Holy crap. Alright, let me see what I missed. Tiki the Hut said earlier, important on topic question for both Asmogan and Short. Alright, yeah, I apologize I missed this during while Dev was on. Margaritas or Mai Tais. Also, why does it keep happening? As free speech supporters, why is it wrong to support Russia over Ukraine? Neither are U.S. allies. I, quite frankly, am glad I didn't answer that. Obviously, Dev can't answer because I hung up on him. But I don't want to answer that question. This was not meant to. Don't get me wrong. I expected politics, obviously, given the topic. But holy crap! Oh man, you ever feel like your head's in a vice? That's not Wes's fault, by the way. Like, it's a combination of things. I should have done this on a day I didn't work. Congrats on 9K subs. Thank you, Nostalgia Vivek. The weak should fear the spicy. Put Scrump on. Get Scrump on, sorry. Thank you, Charza and the Fluffy Lord, for those donations. Now, I will say this. I didn't want to pull on anybody else while Dev was there, because A, I wanted to keep him on, and B, I don't like doing, the group thing. I didn't want to, even if Dev had said he was okay with it, I'm not totally cool with ganging up on the guy. As much as he just caused me a fucking headache. But, again, not Wes. It's I like to do these one-on-one most of the time. I will occasionally do, groups, but not always. Scrump leak DMs to Dev. That's a no-go. Dev, if you are correct, you can argue with Scrump. Dev, if you have nothing to hide, you can talk with Scrump. Yeah, I apologize I missed those during that. I was trying to focus on what he was talking about. Alright. Man, come on, let me try and chat with Dev. Again, apologize I missed that. Okay, it's generally, it's generally... Okay, I think I'm caught up. I think I said everyone. Alright, my apologies if I missed you. Okay. Alright, time to bring the Discord in. Okay. So we're going order. Lord Metalman. Lord Metal, can you hear me, brother?
Yes, I can, brother. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. So, what's your thoughts on... Well, I guess, we went from... the question I was going to ask everybody is, what's your thoughts on the apology? But holy crap, what's your thoughts on the interaction I just had with Dev, I guess, would be better to ask at this point.
Well, fucking, I'll say it was a journey to start with.
Yeah, and by the way, if anyone thinks I fucked up, feel free to mention it and bring it up.
Well, let's just put it like this, mate. You remember when Tucker Carlson went to go fucking interview Putin? And he was just sat there for half an hour listening to fucking Putin talk about fucking history.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was kind of like you there.
Fair enough.
Yeah, fucking, that was... The problem was, though, is that with that situation, he's trying to get you to talk about a situation that you're not fully aware of, right? But he's bringing up this thing about fucking some fucking law paper or some shit about something that says that Trump tried to get Pence to do something to steal the election. Now, I don't know the full details of that, and I don't think we ever will know the full details of that. I know some people might have taken plea deals and all that sort of thing, but this is going to remain hush hush for like at least 30 years before you fucking know anything about it. Right? It's not something that can be just, you know, two dots put together and said, hey, he stole it. I mean, like, if that was the case, right, just think it for a moment here, right? If this was the case, then Trump would have been in jail already. Considering how much they have already went after him, right? Like, up to this point, well, literally, like, last weekend, someone tried to shoot him, right? But, I mean, like, he would already be in jail. They would have used that on him and hammered him with that so much. So, that just doesn't really, like, fly with me too well. Because if that was, if he's totally right with that, then fuck me, that should have been a fucking lot more going on there. And they literally, for the last, how long have they really been on Trump? What's all the coverage been since he took office? Or since he said he was running for election? Like, 2016, it's been constant. Trump bad, Trump man bad,
Trump
this,
Hitler, Trump
that.
the villain, Trump. Trump.
And it's not just been on the news, right? It's been in entertainment, late night talk shows, for instance. Even over here, we've got our fucking shows that just fucking badmouth him all the time. You've got all the fucking what is it as well? You've even got like all the comic books and all that as well, like the pop culture and all that. Remember when they just always had like some sort of a Trump stand-in bad guy?
Yep.
Yeah. How many fucking movies or fucking comic book things or something that have been fucking having that in? There's been quite a few of them now. Like, for fuck's sake, wasn't that Wonder Woman one? Literally the bad guy was supposed to be a Trump character.
Oh yeah, Wonder Woman 1984, I think is the movie. Common Tilly says in the chat, bottom line, the man pulled tweets off of an innocent dead man before the body was cold. What world does that make any sense? Hey, you guys, I will give myself some credit here. The one thing I was able to get out of him was a direct response to that. You guys be the judge. Actually, I guess I'll put up a poll real quick with you guys.
Yeah. Look, I'll say on the dead man thing, right, that situation, right, I don't see anything wrong with him looking up the guy's history and all that sort of thing. However, it's the fact that he rushed really fast to just put something up there that cast a shadow of the doubt on the man. You know what I mean? It was just kind of like, bro, really? You know what I mean? It's like the guy's just literally like stood in front of a few bullets for his fucking family, and the first thing he wants to do is put up like his darkest, dumbest thoughts.
Yeah, and that's why I stand by. I don't believe him when he gives the excuses he does.
Yeah, I mean, but I don't believe him at all, 100%. Like, I think that was actually really like disgusting what he was doing there with that, because that was just like, say, I don't know, it felt like he saw something, it triggered something in him, and he had to go and find something to counteract, like Sargon's sort of fucking thing. Oh yeah,
and that's what he presented again, like that's
he likes Putin, and he presents Putin like Putin's the biggest, greatest evil ever on this fucking world, and I mean, like, okay, whatever. I'm not going to get into the fucking like the details of morality on fucking Putin, but fuck me, man. I mean, by that was the first thing he thought when he saw that. It couldn't just be like, say, you know, hey, the whole fucking situation with Trump right now is bad. No, he had to find something to criticize about the whole event. Because I'm not being funny, a guy sneaks up on the roof and takes shots at fucking Trump, therefore, you know, he needed something in order to counter that. So he went and he looked for the guy who literally died there and his worst thoughts. That was the best thing he could come up with. And it literally, the best thing he could find was that boomer meme where he chose, who would you save? And on it you've got something like Hillary Clinton and a couple of other fucking American politicians. And then the fourth one was, what is it, Putin? So the guy chose Putin, therefore, oh no, everything's all in bad now. Cast all shadow of doubt, this man's got a shade over him. I mean, it's not like he went there and found something actually wrong with the guy. No, I just find it kind of disgusting. And I mean, like, he's acting like as well, like, you know...
By the way, can I point that out real quick? And kind of stress it, because I don't think we have enough.
On you go.
I don't think we've stressed this enough. Dev went looking for vilifications of the guy. Or as he puts it, I went to go research the guy.
Yeah.
Fine, let's go with that for now.
But the thing is, though, who was he responding to in that, and what was the purpose of the response?
Exactly, and he maintains that it's the general. It's like, okay, I was responding to the general sentiments. Okay, but usually when you respond in general sentiments, you don't use specific examples. And he used a specific example from the fireman's own Twitter history, which was a meme, which is a dumb meme. So that's why I don't believe that.
That just shocking to me. Like, he's went through all that effort to go research and put together a fucking, like, a bunch of dots together to say Trump is undeniably, like, you know, tried to steal the 2020 election. However, this guy liked a meme. You know what I mean?
Yep, truly Satan.
That just felt like desperation there, and he had to get it out there. And then he put it out there, and he's like, "Ha, that'll show everyone." And then the tweet, the responses came in, and he's like, "Oh no, what have I done?" And then he had to go and apologise to it. And I mean, even at the end, as he was talking to you, and he went, "Oh yeah, well, I still wasn't wrong on it." And it's like, no, you were wrong on it. You were wrong on what you did.
Yeah.
You were wrong on what you did, and you should have just apologized for it. Look, sorry, I shouldn't have done that. However, the guy did have bad takes. It's like,
yeah, exactly. Like that's to me shows true accountability.
The man is acting like you can only be called clean if you've never had a bad take. And I'm not being funny, but I mean, it's human in all of us. We have a bad take sometimes.
Oh yeah, everybody does. But
you know what I mean? It just felt pathetic to me. It was utterly fucking
1 second.
disgusting. And I think his ego's showing too much.
They're saying you're quiet. There we go.
Am I quiet? It might just be my mic.
Yeah, well, let me turn you up. There you go.
How about if I do that? Or does that just go a wee bit too AIDS?
I think that's AIDS.
Right, that's just a picture on it. Right, so I turned it down a bit. Yeah, it's a bit fucking... it just felt really pathetic behaviour, very petty, and yeah, essentially with the whole 2020 thing, he was just bombarding you with information. That was just like, yeah, right, can I get down this? Yeah, so I can see these things, right? How come you can't? That's essentially it. It's like, why haven't you come to the same conclusion as me? It's like, no, that's not how it works, buddy. You know what I mean? It's not like he presented, you know, Trump with his hand in a cookie jar. And as I said, if it was,
and that's
if it had more to it, the Dems would have already used it.
Yeah, and this is what I think. But I feel like he was really like pushing there, for me, like he was trying to overload with information. But the thing is, all of it, like I asked,
to make you look stupid is what he was trying.
I think that's what he was trying to do. Y'all be the judge.
You look dumb, and him the smart man.
I don't think he looked smart though. Like he looked psycho.
Yeah, desperate.
Yeah, he's like, oh, see all the evidence? Can't you see it? I'm like, I see no evidence. I see statements by people from biased point of views that want to destroy Trump.
Yeah,
that's not evidence. And the video he sent is just some people there.
No.
So.
And what was the other one as well? I wanted to talk about it. Right, his apology was worthless. His apology doesn't really fucking mean anything. It's to save face.
Yeah.
Right. I don't believe he actually feels any sorrow for what he did, especially at the end there where he's like, well, I wasn't wrong. And it's like, no, bud, no, you don't even do that. You don't get to do that. Right? You just say you're fucking sorry and you move on with it. All right? I mean, come on with the bad takes. Now, about the fucking kid and the assassination fucking thing, I mean, look, we don't know fucking everything about the kid. However, what we do know is painting a picture.
Yeah.
I mean, like, another thing, Dev failed the... Oh.
Yeah, just 1 second. There's a super chat.
Go.
Yeah, that's okay. Lilu4 for $5. Thank you so much. Dev bringing up the right digging up info on the Q Bar Gunham was in bad faith. One hurt people, the other shielded his family. Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's exactly it. It's two different fucking things. And another one as well was, well, did you know when the gunman did a thing, right? But Dave was one of the first ones to jump on the whole thing of, oh, he's a registered Republican, therefore.
Yeah, I did see that. I didn't.
So, I mean, like, I didn't see Dave apologise for that one, going, oh, yeah, I jumped on that one a bit early.
Well, that's because he's not getting shit for it. He's only apologized. Keep in mind, I stand by this, and this is what I genuinely believe. I don't think we would have heard Dev apologize for these tweets if he didn't get blowback. Like, there wouldn't have been a moment of self-reflection and going, oh, it's a bit too soon, or it's wrong, I shouldn't have done that, the insinuation. No, like, the only reason he had a self-reflection about it was because of the backlash.
Yeah. Look, the way this thing with this shooter's going to go is, right, essentially, now you're probably going to see a lot of evidence that points to a very certain picture, right? But that picture's going to remain obscure for about the next 6 months until at some point in 6 months' time, we're going to end up seeing that he had a manifesto of a diary or some shit and he had all sorts of fucking other things. That's all going to come out in time. It's like everything. It's like that other one that was it the Nashville shooter who had like 40 pages of a manifesto or some shit on it of all the deepest, darkest fucking thoughts. Yeah, shit like that's going to come out eventually. This kid, however, it just points to me that this kid's been radicalized by all the bullshit around him. 20 years old, man. He's been, since he was 12, Trump was in office. And the whole fucking time, as I said earlier, it's just Trump bad, Trump bad, Trump bad. Like, that can write a message into someone over time, especially someone that young and impressionable. And as well, his parents are also Democrats. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, I mean, like, seeing as they're registered Democrats, who knows what they're talking about over the dinner table, you know? And there's been reports with his school friends and all that as well that says that he was rather into politics. But we're also getting all sorts of mixed information on the kid, so I don't know. And the whole thing about him being trans as well, I don't know how true that is.
And I saw, granted, for that, I've only seen images, I haven't seen any, like, direct reports or anything.
Yeah, there's a picture that looks like him, but people are also claiming it's a 4chan troll, so I don't know what to say on that. However, you know 4chan, you take it with a pinch of salt, it could be right, it could be wrong, who knows?
Oh, absolutely.
No, his parents were Democrats, nostalgia. That's what is apparently came out. They were registered Dems. Even though he was registered as a Republican, the only reason he was registered as a Republican was because they say that it was probably a tactic in order to interfere where he goes to the primary and he votes for someone else.
Right.
Votes against the one that he hates.
All right, Lord Metal, I don't want to cut you off too sharply, but other people are waiting, and they've been very patient through the dev stuff and preceding conversations. So, but don't get me wrong, I really appreciate the back and forth.
Oh, man, anytime, man. But, yeah, man, look, I don't believe Dev for a second. I think Dev's just trying to cover his image and trying to move on past it, because it's what he's been doing. If you've watched his videos anytime lately, he's just been really going after his audience and trying to own the rightoids at every opportunity. So I don't take this as anything more than him just continuing down that path. You know what I mean? Like, he's so desperate for something to smack the right with that he just doesn't have anything. And that's why that meme is glorious that you're using in your thumbnail.
Thank you. I happened to make that one.
Yeah. I used it on one of his tweets earlier because it was just such a bad faith one.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, man, right. I'm going to go, guys. You guys take care and have a great day.
You too. Thank you so much for coming on, man.
You know me, mate.
All right. We're going to pull in the next caller. Hello? You're still muted. Unmute. Oh, are you on Android? If you're on Android, when prior warning anybody else is waiting in the calls. If you're on Android when you're pulled into calls, for some reason Discord for some reason undoes your mic. Okay. Deus Daddy, I'm gonna give you a temporary host status. No, not host. Guest status. Sorry. so that you should be able to see the chat and connect with it. So disconnect and reconnect. Actually, let me check on the poll while we handle this. Okay, so far 1% yes, 83% no, 16% not sure. Okay, that surprised me. There's a lot more people. Granted, still a vast majority of people are, nah, Div's responses weren't good, but that's a lot more. Okay. Okay, Dale Steady's not reconnecting. Oh, his mic is fucked. Okay, so he can't come on. Okay, next person then. Jacob, welcome. How you doing? Oh, don't tell me you're on Android too, man. Come on. There we go.
Hello. As I said in the position, and Dio were before me, so if you can put me back there and pick any of them two in the others instead, that would be probably better. They have more interesting things to say than I do.
So, which individuals?
The ones in either in line 1 or 2, Grand Vizier, Dio, and the Nightbeam.
So you
I
don't
think
have any.
Nightbeam was the earliest of us. I think.
Okay. Would you like me to pull you on after them, or?
I can jump back. Yeah.
Okay. Not gonna lie, it's the first time I've had a caller say, "Nah, not me." Grand Vizier Dio, can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yes.
All right, cool. I don't know if you remember me, but I used to be in your server back then up until I kind of left. Mostly due to I was basically active in another server. That was all. That was about it. But glad to be here again, if that counts.
No, that's fine. Welcome.
Thank you.
So, what are your thoughts on Div's defenses for himself and apologies?
My issue, I think everybody kind of says the same kind of stuff, is like he really loves to try and ramble on and try to make himself seem like he's like the better man for being the intellectual in the room, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
And such. Yeah. That, I mean, for the most part, I guess that's fine and done, but like but ever since, like, I forgot what it was, but there was like this one video from way before, like from a year or two ago, that kind of like rubbed me in a bad way, and I was like, because of that video, it made me unsubscribe to his channel. I forgot what was it about. And then all of a sudden, like the whole, Hogwarts controversy happened, and like I believe about like the whole pick me thing.
Yeah, I am very well aware. Yeah, the VTuber who got harassed just because she wanted to play a game.
Yeah, and the fact
specifically
that
by the left.
Yeah, and it's like she just wants to play this game about fucking wizards, and you have people like Dev, like, wanting her to, like lose her role in that company, but I guess because of that, like I don't know what was going on with him right then. It's like it had nothing. Like VTubers, for the most part, like especially like her, have nothing to do with politics, and yet he just goes after her. I don't know. I don't understand why. I don't know. And then, the shooting that happened with the president and with the family that happened behind him was very tragic. And like I said, everybody pretty much said the same thing. about how like he doesn't really show any empathy about the loss of that family. Instead, he just like, digs up like, oh, the guy's a Putin supporter. I'm like, who does that?
Which is not even true, by the way. Like, I'll now the thing is, I'm not gonna call him a liar for that line, because to be fair, that might have been the only part of it I would accept as a joke, is he's exaggerating, but still, the example used and the stresses of it, yeah, no, like I don't know if I'm gonna fully say that. No, I might.
Like, if that's the
Twice.
case, then honestly, he's just
I will
not good at comedy.
No, he's terrible at it. He's terrible at it. I think that specific tweet was more of an example, though. He was, don't get me wrong, before anyone does, he was still trying to equate the victim to the Kenosha guys who were shot. Like, he was still doing that. But I think this specific, like, I think him saying that he was a Putin supporter was just the only part of it that was an attempted joke.
I could get that now, but like the way, like, the best way I can describe it is like, have you ever seen Batman the Animated Series?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, sometimes it's like what the Joker said, like sometimes you'll get people who just don't get the joke. And that was like basically a good example of that, I guess. But yeah. Other than that, I also have a friend of mine that is an actual centrist, but the difference between him and Dev is that, they're more of like the Edius kind of centrist, as in they don't care about politics at all. And then you have Dev, and he's like on the other end, where like it seems like he's very obsessed with politics, from what I could tell, and he just, that's basically like his life, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I mean, I can say I can't relate to that personally with like the obsession. Don't get me wrong, like lately it's certainly overwhelming into my.
Oh yeah, because like all of it is like like down our throats, basically.
It's just dedicating like your time to it, though. Like, if you're not a politician, you dedicate your time so much to politics. I don't wrong. I think a society should be informed about the ongoings and the political machinations of your country, absolutely. But there's a difference between being informed and then like obsessively like hyper analyzing it all the time. I think that does something to a person.
Yeah,
like,
that's fair.
The people like commentary. Political people like Dev are on the exact same vein as the conspiracy theorists and all that. Like, it's just, you hyper focus into it and it does something to you. And if you want to see what it does to you to the furthest extent, check out Destiny.
Yeah.
See what he's said recently. That's what getting too into politics does to you.
Mm-hmm.
You start seeing everything through the lens of the political wars in your head. It's terrible. I don't know. Like, this is why, like, I. By the way, fun fact: if you're a new subscriber of mine, I'm not a political channel. I'm a 40K channel.
Oh no. I've been sub to, like I said, I've been sub to your YouTube for a while. It's just that I kind of left the Discord because like I'm on way too many Discord channels, and also because I was more active in other channels.
Right,
if
and
that
that's
makes
fine.
any
That's
sense.
fine. I'm just saying this for the general audience watching right now. That I am a 40K tabletop gaming channel. That's my dedicated focus. I love my hobbies, I love my stuff, but I have talked about politics more recently. I have talked about, this kind of thing more recently because it's starting to bleed into my fucking space, and I want it out. So that's so you guys know where I'm coming from. That's me. I'm a nerd that's sick of politics bleeding into my shit. I'm also sick of people who are orbiting my space acting like people like Destiny, and that's why I make the videos I do. That's why I make confrontations like this. Stand by every point I make, but it's not something I love to do. I would much rather be painting minis right now.
I feel the same. I just wish I could right now, but it's been really hot where I live, so I gotta wait until it cools down. So yeah.
Fair enough. So are there feeling like
Uh,
custodies? No, there are not.
yeah, I know. But other than that, I think that's all I wanted to say, and I want to let the next guy in.
Yep. Well, no, I appreciate you coming on. I appreciate what you said. Thank you.
You're welcome. You have a good day.
You too. Finally, I'm having nice conversations. Oh God, this feels so much better. This feels so much better. You ever been in like a super humid, hot environment, and then you walked into a building with AC? That's what this feels like compared to this fucking start. Reverend Norris, thank you so much for the super chat, man, and also thank you to I think I saw another one while I was talking. Nope. My bad. That was Louis Lefeu. But Reverend Norris, thank you so much for the super chat. Got more than you bargained for with the first Dev and his rambling on 2020, followed by Wes and Tev lore. Still, thanks for sharing this, Asmo. Dev really showed his true colors once more here. Yeah, God damn it. But yeah, thank you, Reverend Norris, and true. Thank you so much for the super chat, man. I do feel kind of bad about being a little over. No, don't feel bad about it, man. If we had started with you, I probably would be plenty energetic right now. It's the Dev tangent down the rabbit hole of his conspiracy theory. Like that's what I was like, oh my fucking God. Yeah, man, like, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I'd love to talk 40K with you. But, we're gonna pull on our next caller, or he'll kill me. Nightbean. Am I about to let the bull out of the cage?
Oh God, I am so angry. I'm at Dev. Fuming.
Okay, well, let me at least start your fuming with some direction, okay? What do you think of what Dev said on stream here today, and his apology overall?
He said the man had a bad take, and then he basically admitted that's why I made those posts. That's why it's funny he died. That's why it's okay that I did what I did, because he had a bad fucking take. You unbelievable monster, Dev. The man is some rando in the middle of Pennsylvania who spends most of his time fighting fires, for God's sake. He is not some political actor here. He's not some dude who just, goes around and just spreads political knowledge like you do, feces across the toilet. He's just some guy, and he died horribly and tragically, and you think it's funny to poke fun at that. You think that's okay, and you don't apologize for that. You didn't think that was a bad thing to do, and I'm just...
I'm there with you. I'm there with you.
I maybe he doesn't think it's funny. Maybe he doesn't think it's funny, but that's why he did what he did, and that's why he thinks that's okay. And I'm just like, no, Dev, no, that's not a good take. That's not a good thing to do. What you did was bad, and you should have apologized for that. And he doesn't think he did anything wrong. He said that over and over and over again.
Yep, because his apologies have mostly been directed around like, oh, it was too soon, it was this, it was that.
Just, it was too soon, it was this or that, and then he goes on
Always
this whole
qualifiers.
January 6th tangent.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, the January 6th tangent is like, okay, I don't care. You can have your own opinions on January 6th. You can think Trump is a bad person for having this report. I don't even know what it's called. I don't care. That could all be 100% true. That's not the point. It's almost like he's insinuating, it's like he's almost insinuating, I'm trying to phrase it, that it's like, and this is why Trump is like the worst evil ever. And I'm like, that's almost like a justification for the guy doing what he did. Do you not see how horrible that is to say right now? When your whole point is, both people on both sides had bad rhetoric, and that's what led to it. And then you're sitting there going, Yeah, but I think Trump is a bad person. Like, no, Dev. No. Stop. Cease. Desist. Back. Walk it back. Walk it very far back. You should not even have gotten to this cliff, and now you're just nose diving off. Like, stop, please. Oh, God.
And I guess another question: would your current reaction be? Is your current reaction based off the side scroller's apology, or more on what he said here in this stream, or both?
What he said. I mean, I watched a little bit of the side scrollers. I was at work. I was doing reports, and I saw that on the side of the screen. I'm like, oh, I'll just check in. So I got like 15 minutes of that, and I didn't get the full context. So I'm like, yeah, this sounds like a non-apology, but I didn't get the full context. I'm gonna hold my tongue until I can come home and see the entire thing later. But this, what you presented was like, oh my God, you just the worst things he could possibly say. And I kind of have to say, I think you led him. You gave him so much rope. You gave him so much rope just to do whatever he was doing and do his own thing. And he just strung himself up with it 9 ways to Sunday.
Oh, yeah. And Hammerhead X-Ray asks in the chat, has he apologized to the family of the man whose name he dragged through the mud? No. No, he's not.
No, he hasn't. He has done nothing.
I do not believe, I did not ask him, to be fair, but I do not believe he intends to.
Which is, I mean, I know people keep saying what happened to Alex Jones. And, you know, I have my own opinions, being in Connecticut, on what Alex Jones said. Do I think he deserves to pay the GDP of Africa? Not necessarily. But, like, Dev is walking that line right now, man. He's walking really fucking close to that line. And, like, as a human being, I just don't enjoy people. I just don't enjoy the act of watching a man verbally unalive himself on a stream and just, like, reveal himself to be the most evil human being that I have yet spent time watching. I watched this man
as much as I hate to admit it, he's not as bad as Destiny yet. Have you seen what Destiny has said?
Yeah, I have seen what Destiny said. I think Sargon was right when he said Destiny is a sad little cuck, and I hope he, you know, and just didn't even play. He just wants attention. He's a cuck who wants attention, and you know what? Destiny's a cuck. I don't care. He can have all the cuck attention he wants. But, like, it feels like a betrayal for me, because I watched Dev. I trusted his opinions. I agreed with him. I was a viewer, and just to hear him be so reprehensible is like someone is just pulling at my heart. And I'm like, I trusted you, you bastard. I'm getting so angry.
I get you, man. And I guess that is one benefit with me, is I don't know Dev outside of YouTube. I don't know.
I mean, I don't know him outside of YouTube either. I just watched him.
I also don't know him on YouTube, to be fair. I've seen some of his videos in the past, and I've seen him on Archcast. That is my extent of experience with him. So I don't have the placement of being a fan that's facing the things he's done. Like, I'm not having to face that. I can very easily call him out. I can imagine if you were a fan, it must suck on many levels.
I mean, I wouldn't call myself a fan. I watched his videos. I consumed it. I didn't always hate him on the Archcast as much as I am loath to admit that now. But it's like, I watch a lot of lolcow stuff, and just watching Dev, I got the same feelings watching Boogie expose himself, where I'm like, you disgusting little man, you vile worm person. Just so he just revealed himself to be everything that people said he was, and it's disgusting.
Yeah.
I know I've just been like on your server, just like, give me my Dev flesh, give me my pound of his corpulent flesh, so I might consume it. I'm just like, God, it's just so aggravating and frustrating, and I'm just so. He admitted. He said, I don't feel bad about what I did. I think it was a good thing what I did, which is just like, okay, there's no coming back. There's no apology. There's nothing that can be said after this. It's just like, you're done. You're done, man. You're done.
Okay, take a breath. Nah, I totally agree with you.
I'm sorry. I'm just coming off as so angry because
well, no, like
I'm not angry at you. I'm not angry at anybody.
No,
in the chat.
I know. It's fine. It's fine. Just making sure you're not losing it, a little too much.
I'm trying not to. I'm just like, I've just spent 3 hours in this, and it's just like, oh God. Oh, I feel almost sick.
Yeah, it's okay. Trust me, I know some aggravation myself. I had to talk to the man for like. How
think
long?
you did
Chat question for the chat. How long was I talking with Dev? Because I honestly don't know. Like a couple
I
points,
feel
I
like
started
now.
having like a Vietnam flashback as he was talking.
I mean, I just checked the YouTube. It says you've been on here for like almost an hour and a half.
Yeah, I stopped talking to him like an hour ago though.
But I mean, I try not to get into YouTuber drama. I don't care. I consume the content, but this is just so far beyond the pale that I just can't stand it.
No, I get you, man. And that's the thing. That's what prompted me to make my initial video on Dev. Is as much as I don't like him. I don't find him entertaining. I avoid Archcast with him on because he talks ad nauseum about dumb shit, in my opinion. But what would make me actually like go out of my way is, I found what he said and what he implied reprehensible. And again, I'll repeat it once more. I don't believe him when he said on here, like, oh, well, I was talking in generals. I wasn't actually intending to use the specific examples of the murder victim. I just don't believe that. Like, if you didn't do that, why did you do it? Yeah.
Your joke, if it's to believe that it was a joke, if it is to believe it was a joke, the joke is this man had a bad take, so it's okay that he died. Which is like, it's so far beyond the pale. There's nothing.
Yeah. Well, thank you for coming on and voicing your thoughts. I appreciate it, man.
I'm sorry I got mad and edgy, but I'm just so.
No, that's okay.
Angry.
No.
Just so disappointing.
Trust me, I get it. I absolutely get it. You have a great night, okay?
You too. I'm gonna try to go mow a lawn now.
Okay. Have a good one.
You too. Good night, man.
Okay. Anger's justified. Can you imagine if the daughters heard what Dev said? Just need to keep you in our heads. Yeah. Like, jeez. Remember Bully of the Week? Jim was right. Jim. Who? Well, let me scroll up in chat. I feel like I missed something. Oh, Medicare. Okay. I'm confused. I don't know Medicare. I don't know any of that. Not my sphere. Don't get me wrong, if you guys want to share it in chat with other people, just know, like, if it's intended information for me, I don't know. I've seen some Medicare stuff. I'm aware generally of who Medicare is, but Instar Ocean just got here, so he apologized. Well, you've missed some shit, my friend, because he came on here. He did make I put in air quotes, apology on side-scrollers. I'm not going to go over everything we've already done in the stream, but just know, he and I had some back and forth. He came on because he took umbrage that I said he lied, and at the time I thought he did, but to be fair, after his explanations, I don't think he lied knowingly anyway. But the only part that I would say was a lie is he presented his perspective of Trump trying to steal the election as fact, when he himself did not prove to me it was fact. He only showcased, hey, there's like an attempt at convictions here, and there's this, and this. It's like, okay, all he proved was, this is the reason I believe this, but it is not objective fact. So you can't, on side scrollers, summarize it as this is the proven facts. So that part was a lie, but I don't believe I believe he believes it based on that rant I had to listen to. Medicare is big good. I believe you, I suppose. Okay. What if No. I highly doubt it. I know for a fact that a couple of his subs follow me. So probably what happened with that. And you're right, you did jump on pretty quick. But it could have been one of two things. One, YouTube does notify us creators when we're mentioned in other things. So he probably got a notification. He also lied about me, but that is his word versus mine at the moment. Yeah, I'm not going to get involved with that. No offense, Wyleven. I'm not fully in tune with that. I can only talk about what I'm convinced of. So, regardless, one of two things happened. Either he got added in his Discord or his community, and they're like, hey, this guy's talking about you. Or YouTube just notified him, hey, you've been mentioned in this, and he clicked on and listened. Could be either. Okay, so I'm going to pull in the next caller. Actually, real quick, I need to do some. Okay, so I'm going to take on one more caller because I'm running out of time. I do have a family function. I didn't think we would go this long, to be honest. Well, I figured we'd go for 2 hours, but we're over that mark. So I'm going to pull in, but Asmogan, you didn't read the 50-page long report. Watch 80 hours of videos, so how can you know he is wrong? I know, right? Like, jeez. But I'm going to pull on one more caller. I'm going to pull on chicken header, Q. Dark Tower, I know. I don't know if I want to be biased though. SQ and Jacob Header, just tell me in Discord, are you guys okay if I pull in Dark Tower as my last guest, or do you guys have something like really poignant to say? Go ahead. I would like to come on. Okay. I'll pull on, but it's your show. Hey, that's cool. I will pull on SQ. If the thing will drag. There it goes. Alright, SQ. You are my final caller for the night. Sorry to everybody else, but I am running out of time. SQ? Oh, he's muted and deafened. Unmute yourself and undeafen yourself, man. There you go.
Oh, there we go. Right. Oh, Jesus. Am I? Yeah. I haven't done this for a while. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Unmute yourself and undeafen yourself, man.
Oh, you might
yeah.
want to mute the stream because I can hear an echo.
You're right. I did. I apologize.
No,
I won't try to take up too much time. As I said, I'm sort of an outsider in all of this. I've been a fan of, I was a fan of Dev for a while, and I do fundamentally believe that he does do good work. Like, I do think he is capable of doing very, very good work. But as Wes has said, he's very much married, I think, to this nostalgic view of the right versus the left. And I understand it, because I think especially, given his age bracket, around 2000, I think a lot of that generation really started getting into politics and started looking to things like Fahrenheit 9/11, there was the Bowling for Columbine before that. And I definitely think it colored a lot of people's perspectives. And the fundamental issue with Dev, I think, right now, and what's really driving me a bit batty, is he is trying so desperately hard to equate the right and the left, equally, when it is a huge gulf in difference into how it's being acted, how it's being presented, and how things are going. And so it comes to a point where, in order for him to maintain his reality, maintain his narrative, he has to do all sorts of mental gymnastics. So many mental gymnastics, I'm surprised he's as large as he is. But it's getting to a point now where it's just like, Dev, you are devoid from reality, my bro. Like, my dude, you are devoid from reality. Let me just give you a quick thought experiment, if I may.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. So I like to imagine, and everyone in the chat can do this as well, and you too, Dev, 'cause I know you're watching this. Imagine that you're a judge, and you're running a prison, and suddenly you have one prison cell left. So two people are brought to you. One person has trespassed and, littered. The other person has committed arson, murder, looting, and embezzlement. Only one of them can go into prison. Which one are you going to put into prison?
Okay, just good for like a looter, embezzlement. What was the other ones?
Yeah. I'm just going but basically one of them trespassing and trespassing and littering, and the other one has done murders, riots, looting, and embezzlement, among other things.
And easy pick would be the murderer and riots, embezzlement.
Right, exactly, and that's kind of the issue we have here. I'm not trying to say that there aren't bad actors in the right. There absolutely are. I mean, people like Spencer do exist,
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, and again, this is where I think Dev is very dishonest about all of this. Nobody is claiming that one side is all, rosy-cheeked cherubs and bunnies and rainbows, and the other side is, just like goblins and murder and massacring. But what we do see is a huge disparity between not only the power, but also how it's covered. The number of times we've seen the media, celebrities, and politicians defend, protect, and all around just give the left wing. I benefit out. Well, they don't even cover it at all. A case in point, Dev was talking about intent, right? This whole thing, and I was kind of hoping you would shoot at him when he sits there and says, "Well, what are the intentions of Donald Trump's words?" I was hoping, Loki, you'd be like, "Well, what are the intentions of Joe Biden's tweet when he sat there and said we're putting Trump a bullseye on Trump, or we're putting Trump in the target?" I mean, literally 4 days later, someone tried to take a shot at him.
To be fair, I should have done that, but at that point, just so you understand, I wanted to get my thing focused on, and he kept dragging me down that rabbit hole.
Oh, I know. I fully appreciate that. It's as Scrump says, Dev is very good at trying to steer the conversation away from where you actually want to go, and basically just throws all this information at you. I also found it very amusing because there's like tons of videos online you can see of. I understand this isn't your forte. As you said, you're very much into your 40k and all that. I haven't played 40k for years, but I was into it myself once upon a time. Elder, if you're wondering.
Nice.
Yeah. I also love the war games. I still play that from time to time. And I'm happy. I hope I can geek out with you on that at some point. But just going back here, one of the biggest things for me that I've had to really come to terms with is realizing. Okay, let me just step back for a moment. I think a lot of people in the chat would agree with me that 2016 was a real watershed moment. It was a real kind of all the masks come off. Because I distinctly remember during the 2000s that what the sort of consensus of the quote-unquote left-wing was, which was it was stridently anti-war, it was pro-science, it was pro-free speech, it was pro-politics, pro-politics, pro-protest, pro-demonstration. There you go. And, they were also, pushing for, fair representation, but in areas where it actually was generally underrepresented. So, for example, women's rights in the Middle East, for example, or things in India, or trying to be better in places in Africa. Again, you can however you feel about that, but how you may feel about that personally, that's at least where it came from. So it kind of baffles me that in 2016 you got someone like Trump, who for everything that they said he actually delivered on. This was the first ever president in our lifetime to start 0 wars, actually score 3 historical peace deals, and actually set about making sure that things like freedom of speech and freedom of expression and right to protest were actually protected. And so it baffles me that he gets demonized and vilified so much. And that's when I came to this really startling realization that, much like with Brexit, when people sit there and say that they're pro-democracy, that they're pro-freedom of speech, they actually never meant it. What they actually meant is, I want my team. My team has to be the winner on all accounts. And I have a brand, not principles. And if my brand is the Democrat Party, then I'm going to stick with that, through and through. No matter how much it changed my principles or how much you provide me evidence. And this is how you get people like Destiny going on these completely unhinged rants that are utterly devoid from reality. He was saying about how conservatives are setting the tone. I'm thinking to myself, oh yeah, all those late night conservative talk show hosts like John Oliver and Stephen Colbert, and The View.
I mean, yeah, it is. It's completely delusioned, but I get like that. It's that structuring. It's that tribalism that they've
absolutely
delved in deep into.
Yeah, and it's just nuts. And I really hoped Dev was better than that. And Dev, your problem really stems from this, buddy, is that you are doing everything in your power to try and maintain this narrative, because it is your brand. It is your brand that that you want to be the centralist. But you're spiraling, man. And I've seen this happen too many times. I think it's fair to say that, again, maybe they're the old fags in the chat who will remember guys like Thunderfoot and Aaron Ra and DPR Jones. And like one of the big first sort of conflicts of YouTube was, the creationists versus the atheists. And you had guys like Venom Fang X and Ray Comfort and all of that lot. And guys like Aaron Ra and Thunderfoot always put forward like these principles and ideals. But then they always get that breaking point where they actually betray all the principles that they've laid out. In the case of Thunderfoot, it was Brexit. In the case of Aaron Ra, it was feminism. And we see this happen time and time again. And it's kind of saddening that Dev, in order to maintain this fictitious view of the left versus right, which is rooted mostly in nostalgia, I would say, and maybe it even exists to begin with, he's basically allowing himself to just outright lie and outright, delude himself. And the fact that even, and just turns back to your point, and I won't take up more of your time because I appreciate you being so patient with me.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Keep going.
Yeah, thank you. The issue with Dev is when you were talking to him, and I came into stream halfway at that point, and he sat there and said, he's talking about, there's evil on the right, there's evil on the left. And I was thinking, yeah, of course, no one's going to dispute that. But then he tried to equate that because the guy had sat there and said, made a joke about Putin or had something against Pence, he ascribed evil to the intention when there's nothing there to really ascribe evil. In other words, he's projecting his own bias and his own dehumanizing in order to justify it. And the fact that he said, I wasn't wrong, it's just kind of like, Dev, just show a little humility, buddy. Like honestly, Dev, again, I know you're listening to this. Like, again, my DM's open. I've got you on Discord. I've been trying to contact you for just months, and you've not months, for days now, and you're ignoring it. And I get it. I'm a nobody. You're a big YouTuber, and all of that stuff. But I genuinely want to try and help you, buddy. I genuinely do, because I do think you do good work. I really do. I know some people are going to just hate your guts and never accept that. Okay, or they think that you've crossed the line too much. Again, I get it. I understand. But I'm just saying to you, man, like, you need to step back from the edge. You really do, because you're spiraling. And it's kind of, you are on the cusp of becoming like, say, Destiny or Ethan Ralph or something like that, or Fuentes, just completely unhinged. And it'd be a loss. It would generally be a loss, Dev, is what I'm trying to say. I think one final point. I think why Dev also, and this goes to 2020, I think one of the reasons why Dev is so vehement into saying that 2020 was totally legit and there was no shenanigans or malarkey involved, despite all the overwhelming evidence that there indeed was, is because he fundamentally has to believe that the institutions are not corrupt. He has to believe that things like the FBI, the CIA, and all these organizations that spent 4+ years of Trump's presidency smearing him, running him through the ground, calling him a fascist, calling him a Nazi, calling him a racist. But they're going to now suddenly act in good faith, right? It's Dev, you're delusional. I would point this out to you. I mean, look at the amount of propaganda they put against Trump. It's as Trump rightfully said. There were like whole episodes of The Simpsons and Family Guy that depicted Trump as, like Jabba the Hutt and all these kind of things. At South Park, even South Park, bent the knee and took the party line. And so it's just like, Dev, how can you trust any of this? And this is the other thing that kind of irks me. I know I keep saying this is my last point, but I'm like, but just one more thing. Is he'll do this thing where he was saying, the media is bad. You can't trust the media because they insult guys like Sargon and my mates and all of that, which is fair enough because the media is deeply, deeply corrupt, especially legacy media. But then he will bizarrely use the mainstream media to prop up his position. And it's like, Dev, do you not see that's the problem? This would be like me going, Dev is a terrible, terrible person and an awful human being. Well, why'd you say that? Well, because I just read this blog by Vorsh. Don't you think that's not going to be like the most fair account? Or maybe that there might be
great source. Great source.
Yeah, right. That's a terrible creature. He's a horrible, horrible creature. Anyway, I just those are my broad points. I apologize to your mate Dark Tower. Thank you for having me on. Hope we can chat again in the future. Maybe we can geek out about 40k lore.
Oh, I'd absolutely love to. And no, man, like you were a great. Talk about a way to end a show. Like, absolute slam dunk.
Yeah. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. I just discovered your channel, and I will be honest, I didn't know about your channel. I came across it because of the Dev video. I've been trying to talk to Dev. I've been holding his feet to the fire, granted. But again, Dev, when you're listening to this, and again, I'm on Discord. I'm right here if you just want to have a quick chat. Dev, please, I am begging you. Just step back. Just step back. Have a little humility. And maybe you just need to chat to somebody who isn't in your inner circles, who doesn't have your deep history. All right, because I'm not big on Dev lore, and just maybe we can work something out. Maybe I can be like that. Maybe I can be the bag of ants. Okay, to you, if you get that reference. No, okay. No,
the bag of you'll have to clarify that one with me.
Oh, okay. Well, basically, that's a really, really, really good movie. One of my favorite movies, actually. Along with things like Aliens and Predator and Terminator and all the good shit. And The Thing, great movie.
All great movies.
There's a movie called The...
I love all those movies. What's...
Yeah, they're great. Oh, yeah. Also, Deep Blue Sea. I love Deep Blue Sea. I'm going to put it out there. Best shark film. Don't even at me. Better than Jaws. And I'll fight anyone who says otherwise.
I will fight you on that. Jaws, still the king. Still the king.
Man. Deep Blue Sea. Deep Blue Sea all the way, baby. We'll have to debate that one at some point.
Oh, absolutely, because I will not budge on that one.
Oh, have you read the book out of interest?
No, admittedly. Like this is one of those cases where I solely know the movie. I know the book was, well, it has a reputation of having very unlikable characters.
Okay, so that's actually it's not true at all.
I gotta go very shortly here.
Oh yeah, okay. I'm sorry.
No, sorry.
But yeah, Legend of Bag of Ants is basically a contemporary retelling of the Bhagavad Gita, set in America after the First World War, and it's basically a sports movie, a golfing movie, with Will Smith playing not a cuck, but actually playing a guardian angel who comes and meets the character of Duna, and basically just helps him sort of find his swing again. But it's got some really great dialogue, and some of my favorite dialogue in all the movies. Another great movie, by the way, and one I highly recommend you watch, especially when you want to learn about reason and logic and how to formulate arguments, is 12 Angry Men. Amazing film.
I have seen 12 Angry Men, and I would agree with that.
God, I've watched that film as well. Also, one more for you. Have you seen Brotherhood of the Wolf?
Brotherhood of the Wolf?
Yeah, have you seen it?
The name is familiar. Hold on.
Okay, so hear me out. It is a historical, horror, action, periodic piece, creature feature, kung fu movie. And it's fucking awesome.
That is a lot of awesome things meshed together.
Oh, dude, it's so good. It's so good. Honestly, you want to have a great time, but get that movie up. All right, man. It's some good shit. I'm telling you. It shouldn't be able to balance all that stuff so well, but I don't know how they do it, but they do. Oh, it's also a thriller and a conspiracy theory as well as a political thriller.
Okay,
I'm not even kidding.
I'll give it a look.
So it's like all these genres. Like, hey, do you want all these genres? Yes. Put them in the blender. Boom. Awesome. Anyway,
mash them, stick them in the
thank you
stew.
for having me on, my dude.
Yeah, no problem. I
I
mean,
appreciate it.
thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate it greatly, and thank you for the insight. I do actually find that compelling, I'll say.
Well, thanks, man. Again, maybe one day we can have like a stream where it's Deep Blue Sea versus Jaws, and I can tell you a bit more about the book and stuff like that. Anyway, my dude, thank you so much. I appreciate it. And again, to your friend Dark Tower, apologize for being autistic and be like, I want my pound of flesh.
That's all right.
Man.
Have a good one, man. Thank you.
You too, man.
All right, folks, that was our last caller. Man, whew. The movie he was mentioning just now is Brotherhood of the Wolf. It's 2001, so it's probably a good movie. And his summary, like, that's a lot of awesome things put together, but I'll definitely check that out. Anyway, before I head out, overall, did everyone enjoy the open mic? One's in the chat if you enjoyed, two in the chat if you did not. Obviously, I'll see the like to dislike ratio later, but just curious, like the chat, like those who are active in the chat overall. $50. Igor, you missed the assignment. Okay. I'd love to see all the ones. All right. Thank you all so much. I'm gonna head out, and I'm definitely down to talk to the gentleman who knew Dev. I'd be interested in talking to them more. Maybe learn a bit more. But as far as my overall intentions, this is my last time I intend to cover Dev. Like I said, for a personal thing, I'm not watching anything with Dev in it going forward. I'm not going to be unless he does something like egregious, right? I don't intend to cover him again. As far as like I'm writing him off is my thing. That's me. But anyway, thank you guys so much. I will catch you guys next time. Bye bye.